WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday, September 27th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 93. Coming up on OTB, Matt Flynn joins the show in studio for a full hour of flestering at 8 a.m. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Ooh, Taylor, guess what? I just saw they were teasing the show on ESPN, and there was a headline, disappointing Dallas with a sad Dak. Can you believe it? Unreal. Let's go get up.
Wait, Dak looks sad?
Dak looks sad, and I cannot believe it, but they are opening with disappointing Dallas.
Well, Dak makes me sad. So.
Dak could donate toys to kids in need, and you would
does.
complain. Yeah, and you would complain about the price of the toys that he donated. I mean, what are these McDonald's? What are these Happy Meal toys? I mean, you can't get them iPads. Have you seen that contract?
T-Bob, he didn't play well last week.
He's no Josh Dobbs, okay, but not many
in the
are.
end zone. I mean, what do you want me to do, man?
Not many are, okay? Welcome into OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, Taylor hanging out with you today. Today's Wednesday, meaning we got Matt Flynn coming in to do a little flestering. I don't know that I can promise that we'll talk about football. I mean, I think last hour we ended up spending 3 minutes at the very end talking about something with LSU, but maybe we'll talk some football, potentially, I guess I could say. Been watching some Ole Miss film, just a bit of that Tulane game, trying to get a better idea of who Ole Miss is this year. I got some Whit Weeks that I want to play. There's a Ty Floyd corn tribute that is maybe the best use of corn that I have seen all year since Nebraska's been so sorely disappointing to us. Even couldn't even cover against La Tech. Maybe look at some of the games coming up from this weekend as well. Going to be a fun Wednesday show. What's going on, Jake? How you doing this morning?
Get to the next thing. And do it with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
That's where we're at, right? I mean,
it.
attack whatever you're doing right there in that moment, right, T?
1,000%. Win the moment. That's what Kirby Smart said. It's good advice for, literally anybody doing anything, any day. Mario, how you feeling today?
Oh, feeling good, man. Let's make it a good Wednesday.
What about you, Toller?
Doing good despite
looks like a caller.
mispronouncing my name and calling out the Cowboys first segment. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
It could be worse. You could be the Jets,
It's very true.
Or the Broncos.
Like, the farther that we get out from the Aaron Rodgers injuries, just the more absolutely brutal I feel like it becomes for the New York Jets, because they should be good. They have all the pieces. They have both former rookies of the year on there. Zach Wilson I don't know. I don't think he's it. Maybe it's the Jets, right? Maybe they better call Billy like the Browns or something do a lot of times when it comes to quarterback, but it's not working.
They signed Trevor Siemian.
They did try to save Trevor Siemian, which, sounds dumb, but Siemian is definitely better than Wilson, right?
Yeah.
So the goal of signing anybody is to be an upgrade?
Joe Namath's going to be upset. Big Zach Wilson fan.
That's not true. You literally told me that Joe Namath said that Zach Wilson just doesn't have it up there.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't like the guy.
Which is interesting because, as you pointed out yesterday after the show, Joe Namath, threw significantly more picks in his career than touchdowns?
Yeah.
But
173 to 220.
170, damn, that's a lot. At the same time, it's kind of a different era of football. Maybe those more acceptable. I don't know. He won a Super Bowl, though, In American sports, that's all we care about. do you win a championship? That's all that matters.
Probably in most. I mean, not just American.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can't speak to. Yeah, you're right. I could be wrong. I can't speak to like other cultures. I just mean that like, if Joe Namath, like he's talking about 170 to 220, like nobody's ever talking about Joe Namath again if he doesn't win it in New York. But he did. So you know what? We are. Shout out to the legend.
Well, he's their most recent champion too. Like they have not won.
That's sad to think about because Joe Namath's like 80.
Yeah, that was in '68, right?
Yeah, he's getting up there.
He might be older than 80.
Certainly getting up there. He might be Lou Holt's age. I don't know. Lou Holt's fired back.
Clap back.
We'll get to that. Got a depressing Saints tweet of the day. It's going to be a fun day here on OTB. And then hour 3, we'll probably go around and look at some of these weekend's games and start to break them down. As I started watching USC film as well, Jake, and not very impressed. Caleb Williams remains as awesome as ever. And while they look just in terms of the eye test, they look better up front. Like Bear Alexander is an upgrade over what they had. The defense is still just leaving a lot to be desired, man. I think I like Colorado to cover this weekend. But whatever, we'll get there a bit later in the show. First, let's talk about Ole Miss. So yesterday, we dove into the statistics, and we basically broke down how these two teams are very similar. Both defenses are leaving quite a bit to be desired. Both offenses have been very good on the whole this year. You're talking about the top 2 scoring offenses in the entirety of the SEC. It's a weird situation, though, Jake, because the teams feel very similar. Only I think LSU is just a bit better in every single area. But after seeing what I saw against Arkansas and LSU's kind of continued failure to do your job on the simple stuff, it makes you feel a little more insecure about this game than you should. Because like I said, I think you are objectively better everywhere. I mean, maybe just the pure talent of Quinshon Judkins against your best back. But again, your O-line is so much better than their O-line by such a wide margin that I feel like it almost negates any talent advantage that Judkins may have. And plus, he seems to be playing hurt right now. So it's like, okay, how can I say they're better everywhere and then not expect LSU to win? And it's because when you don't do these simple things, right, the fundamentals, like if you don't play correct zone coverage and you think about what Jackson Dart's been this year, he's been like a better KJ Jefferson. He can get you with his legs. He can get you with his arm, and Lane Kiffin can put him in the right position. So it's like, just because I can't trust LSU on the fundamentals, there's still the possibility where this becomes a shootout and it's like a who has the ball last. And in that case, Ole Miss could take this game.
And they're a team that feels like they can feast on your mistakes.
Yes.
Just like Arkansas did, but even more so, to your point. Like they can live in the chaotic energy.
Yep.
It feels like that's who they can be. Jackson Dart's kind of been that guy his entire career. And so that's why you have to do your assignment. That's why you can't try to do somebody else's assignment. It's been a theme for Brian Kelly this entire week. You got to go out there. You got to do your job. Don't try to do somebody else's job because this is a team that will make you pay. They have a quarterback back there that's always looking, just like KJ Jefferson, to make the next play, right? He's not going to give up on a play. If you have him in the backfield, he's not just going to go down. He's going to try to get out, spin out, find a guy going down the sidelines. And so even more so than last week, I agree with you. You have to make sure that you're doing your job, and you can't have missed assignments. You can't try to do too much. They'll make you pay.
Yeah, I think this is where it gets weird, Jake. I do not think Ole Miss O-line looks very good at all. Like some real head-scratching MAs against Tulane that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Guys just getting beat. Alabama obviously dominated them. Now, Alabama's a much better defense than you are top to bottom. That's one of the reasons why. But if you can cover somewhat consistently, like the pass rush should be able to get home. I should say I'm maybe a bit more insecure about my take after this last Arkansas game, where I was guilty of maybe hating on that Arkansas offensive line a bit too much. Whereas they really found their way and actually ended up playing pretty well. But after watching this film, even against Tulane, it is no surprise to see why Jackson Dart just got absolutely murdered against Alabama because I don't know. I just don't think they're good. I think they're winning with scheme a lot of times when it comes to having offensive success and just not going against great fronts.
You should have every advantage in the interior of the Ole Miss line as well. Like, I think even as a group, they have a long way to go. But if I had to point to a strength of the offensive line, I think the tackles are better than the guards in the center. I thought the center really struggled against Alabama time and time again. And so, okay, Mekhi Wingo, Jordan Jefferson, Mason Smith, like that's where you're going to have a little bit of an advantage. Now, you still need to see somebody on the edge step up for LSU to get after the passer, and there's going to be like a rotation of a couple of different guys there, but I think the interior is where you can attack. And not only in the pass game, I think as far as run blocking, last year Ole Miss was really good in the interior of their offensive front. I mean, those guards, when they were running gap scheme, I mean, they were getting out, they were getting on the angle, and they were finding their guy. I don't really see that this year either. Now, you know, Judkins is somebody that looks like he is playing hurt, to your point, but he's not hitting the same, you know, A gap, B gap on these gap scheme runs like last year. He had bad intentions.
No, I mean, look, I wrote it right here. I know Judkins may be hurt, but I would like to also offer another hypothesis on why his numbers aren't very good this year, and it's because the O-line sucks. I think that's –
and there's a year of tape on him now. I mean, he was a freshman a year ago, so there's some things – but, yeah, the offensive line – I mean, the Tulane game is the one to watch if you want to see the struggles, in my opinion, of the offensive front.
Yeah.
I mean, Tulane brought the fight to them.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm seeing it. And it's like I don't want to watch the Alabama one necessarily because, 90% of schools are going to struggle to score against Alabama. It's a very good defense. And Tulane's a great – like they're a really good football team, right? But – you would expect an Ole Miss offense that has had as much success as it has the last couple of years. You would expect it to look far better than it did. Here's a question about LSU's defensive line. Should Jordan Jefferson and Jake, maybe you can look up a quick snap breakdown, but should Jordan Jefferson be getting more snaps than Mason Smith right now? And if we want to look at grades, again, Mason Smith's kind of refining himself still. I don't know why I feel weird saying this, or I almost like there's some sort of natural hesitance to want to say, but like Jordan Jefferson's been better than Smith, correct? Like objectively.
Yeah, I mean, if we were taking a look at the grades, I think that would certainly tell that story. I'm trying to right now find.
He's one of the highest graded run defenders in.
What was he? He was top 10.
Yeah, in the entire country right now. And so it becomes a situation where. Look, both still obviously have a major role to play. Rotation on a defensive line is invaluable, especially when it's a talented rotation. That's a massive advantage the majority of schools don't have. But I think there's real merit to starting to shift some of those reps in Jordan Jefferson's direction and then let Mason Smith make those same plays and then let him get those reps back if he does.
Yeah, I'll get you a snap count here in the next break, but I know that it's going up. I know that's going the other way, and that's really with all the defensive tackles. But like he's forcing himself into the game, like in a good way. Like he is finding a way to tell the coaches, hey, you can't leave me out. Like I can't just play 9 plays. I've got to go out there. I've got to be a part of the rotation. And like kind of same thing as far as the edge. Like during the break, I'll pull up what the defensive line rotation looked like against Mississippi State, and then what it looked like against Arkansas. Like Grambling, we're not going to take a lot from that. Florida State, you still were trying to figure some things out. Like that rotation doesn't even show up anymore.
So let's go to break, and when we get back, we'll explore that a bit more. Remember, if you want to get involved, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Hit the like button. Get all your comments in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, and we'll break it down next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Do you want some window coverings? Easy as 1, 2, 3. Eventually, I'm going to find the jingle here. But you want K2Z, okay? K2Z window coverings are your experts for all of your custom windows, draperies, shades, shutters, whatever you need, okay? The point is, you're going to go to ktoz.com if you want to start explore the site, get an idea of what kind of jobs they can offer you. You want to take your backyard to the next level. Maybe it's a blackout curtains inside for like a theater room. Look, the bottom line is that you want K2Z. You want to take advantage of the free professional estimate. Remember, there's free installation on every job. And if it's a big job, well, and you want to do some financing to pay for all at once, financing options are always available. Take advantage of Brandon Barton's vast experience in the window coverings game. K2zblinds.com.
Yeah, have them come out. It's going to be an incredibly quick process. They're going to come out and measure your space. We're talking about your outdoor space, your outdoor kitchen, and get that job done. K2zblinds.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come home, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's a luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
The best. Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. It's a What If Wednesday. JD Piquel of On 3 Sports will join us. And those SEC football power rankings. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Mario Taylor hanging out with you today. Briley says this is a really big game for LSU, in my opinion, particularly with regard to recruiting. Well, that recruiting angle. Doesn't seem like Ole Miss's strength has ever been high school recruiting. And if anything now in the Kiffin era, they're definitely just more about transfer portal recruiting. I would say it's a big game because, yeah, look, I think when it comes down to the West, I don't know, actually. I don't know if I believe, even if Ole Miss beats LSU, I don't know that I believe them capable of making a run all the way through the West. They just feel a bit too infallible, a bit too susceptible. But like we mentioned yesterday, there is the potential for the rock, paper, scissors of LSU beating Alabama, Alabama beating Ole Miss, and Ole Miss beating LSU, just because in terms of matchups that it could kind of line up that way. But no, I'd say it's a massive game because you want to win the West, and probably outside of Alabama, obviously Ole Miss and Texas A&M are going to be the two biggest threats to winning the West. So, yeah. T-Bob, definitely we're hearing a man bun. It's not long enough anymore. I can't do it. Used to back in the day, though. Looked like a crazy person.
LSU is 10th right now, team rankings in recruiting. Ole Miss is 22nd, according to on3.com. So there's your recruiting breakdown.
Yeah, Champ says if you're focused on beating Ole Miss in recruiting, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. LSU is bigger fish to fry in that regard. Okay, Jake, did we get any numbers on the snap allocation on that defensive line?
So against Mississippi State, the defense had 50 total snaps, which is a crazy low number. But Mason Smith had 29 of the 50. Mekhi Wingo had 29 of the 50.
Wait, so this is Mississippi State. Okay, yes. Okay.
Jordan Jefferson had 18 of the 50, and Jacoby Guillory had 11 of the 50.
Okay.
72 snaps against Arkansas. Mason Smith had 51 of the 72. Mekhi Wingo, 54 of the 72. Jordan Jefferson, 20 of the 72. And Jacoby Guillory, 17 of the 72. So Guillory played way more than he's been playing. Jefferson about the same, but with 22 more snaps defensively. So they're still picking their spots.
I feel like that number should become more even between Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson. I mean, I don't know. Who flashes on film more?
Right now, I think it is Jordan Jefferson right now. And you've got, like right now, I'm looking at the Pro Football Focus grades for the defensive tackles. Mekhi Wingo, 80%. This is for the season, by the way, not just a singular game. Jacoby Guillory, 67%. Mm-hmm. Mason Smith, 60%.
Yeah.
Jordan Jefferson, 74%.
Yeah. So that lines up with what we've been kind of seeing and what it feels like as well. This is where it gets kind of interesting, though, boys. This kind of 5-star management come into play here. Because that's a real thing. I mean, and it's not even getting into worries about, like, the transfer portal or, like, it's...
Wait, can Mason Smith work his way back into the same form coming back from the injury? Again, like, I'll lean on you for this discussion. I don't know this world. I've never had a major surgery like this where I had to miss time. Like, when you did it, did you feel like you were the same player initially? Did it take multiple games?
I don't know. It's weird because, like, I'd never played in college when I got hurt.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of, my first time playing was already post-ACL. So it wasn't like, it was kind of whatever I was already used to. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like, what do we always say? Football is a meritocracy. At least it's supposed to be, right? I mean, if you're a coach and you win, we celebrate you. We crown you. You're praised. You're a legend. If you lose, you get lambasted. You run out of town. You still get paid. But and so in that same way, like, when you're constructing a team, and Jake, you've been a part of locker rooms, like, when the whole locker room knows that one guy is playing better than the other, but he can't get playing time, it's a weird situation. And, like, you want as a player to have the trust with the staff that, okay, if I do my job and I perform at a high level, then I'm going to get more opportunity. And I would like to see those Smith and Jefferson reps kind of even out to 50-50. And then who knows, maybe even a lighter snap count for Smith means a more impactful Smith as he kind of continues to come back and find a way.
Yeah, I think that's really one of the things that you've kind of got to focus on. Like, if you played him, you played 51 of 72. What if you played him 35 of 72? Like, what would those 35 plays look like? And as he continues to work his way back into form. And, Jefferson, I think, has earned the right to have that playing time. Now, Mekhi Wingo is your highest graded defensive player. So he's not coming off the field.
No.
A ton. Like, you're still going to keep him out there. Actually,
no, he needs to still play the 75% allocation.
Of the 4 players that qualify that have enough snaps to be in this conversation, your 4 highest graded defensive players, Mekhi Wingo 1, Braden Swinson 2,
Okay.
Jordan Jefferson 3, actually tied, Jordan Jefferson 3, and Wes Weeks right there as well.
And Swinson, Swinson's playing probably, about 75% of the snaps there on edge. What is Savion Jones grading out as?
66.5 for the year.
Maybe thought that would have been a little bit better on the year. Maybe this game last time took him down a little bit. William Anthony says meritocracy is going to slowly erode with NIL. Booster pays top dollar and the dude doesn't play, ruffling someone's feathers. That is not crazy, right? In the NFL, Jake, you see it all the time where if 2 people are equal or maybe even like the undrafted guy is slightly better, they're going to stick with the guy that they paid and have invested in because they have resources there, right? And they don't want to lose out on those resources. I see what that
drafted guys are always going to get priority.
Yeah, exactly.
The GM doesn't want to look like an idiot. He wants to look right. And it makes no sense, but that's what it's always going to be.
No, granted, if it's like who was Pierre Thomas competing with back in the day when he signed with the Saints? Who they drafted?
Antonio Pittman.
Yes, if it's that situation where like PT's just clearly so much better, and this is just something that Sean Payton kind of made his name with early on, was he hammered this idea of like, I don't care where you came from or when we took you, if you are playing better, we will keep you, right? And ultimately that's what you want, like I said. I would say, though, William, to the fear of like boosters controlling playing time and all that, ultimately a strong head coach doesn't allow that, right? A strong head coach who is turning in good results can turn around and say to the booster, do you like to win? Okay? Because we're winning, and we're winning because we do it this way. And if we stop doing it this way, then we're not going to win. So was your money maybe wasted on this player? Yes, but look, it was spent here and it went great. It was spent here and it went great. Like, we still have to have these kinds of players to try to be the program they want to be. A weak head coach, one that's not winning as much and has to coddle a bit more, that's the head coach that I think is susceptible to having that happen.
I think this is more of a situation, not that you're saying that this is poor play. I think that you have to be smart with this player. You got to see where the strengths are with this player. And also, like, there's something about earning playing time as well.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you feel like this player is going to continue to get better, I do think Jordan Jefferson has earned the right to get some playing time, get into that rotation a little bit more. And so that's a good thing. And when you start to look at the defensive front, it's a position, certainly on the outside, that is still moving. It's still trying to evolve into its final form. And like, I think Braden Swinson's starting to make a case for himself to be out there more than he's not.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's
Is he not right now? He's not out there? Okay,
but, I mean, still not like, hey, you're out there every single snap, but he's getting to that point with the way that he's playing. And so I don't know that we get the final form of the defensive line, and maybe it's 2 games from now, maybe it's 3 games from now, but it feels like a group. And look, that group is always going to rotate. It's one of the most rotating position groups in all of football. But you're still looking, I think, for, okay, what's our best 4? Who is the best 4 that if the game's on the line, we got to have a play who's out there right now?
I mean,
I don't know that they know
right
that.
now, it's Jordan Jefferson. It's Mekhi Wingo, Jordan Jefferson, Braden Swinson, and
I still go Savion Jones.
Yeah, for sure. And then look, this game, I think you can, you saw Deshaun Womack, and Kelly talked about it on Monday. Womack is not ready to be an every down player yet. And it sounded like maybe mentally is what he was kind of getting at there, which makes all the sense in the world. But what you can do is just put Deshaun Womack in there on 3rd down and tell him to go get the quarterback, right? Similar to how you used Harold Perkins last year. Just give him a very vertical slice of the playbook because he obviously has natural pass rushing ability. And the reason why we're talking about the D-line so much is because I don't think the Ole Miss offensive line looks very good. And I guess the only issue is you do need coverage to stand up much better than it did last week so that these guys can end up getting home and end up affecting the game. But, like, if Jordan Jefferson's in there and Mekhi Wingo's in there, I don't think Ole Miss is going to be able to run the ball very well. And so I would increase the snaps.
The one thing for Deshaun Womack before we move on, Like if he gets in there and he's the third down guy, and I always love when somebody asks BK a question and like he knows like exactly what's going to get asked. He's already kind of prepared himself and he has like a little laugh before he answers it. And this is a young player, and because he did the same thing when he's asking or answering the question about Will Mace, a young player that has a skill set. But when he gets in there, you have to make sure that you're not using the same move every time, because I've been in a team meeting where somebody flashes like that and you're like, hey, this guy flashes, but look, he does this every single time. And now we're going to scheme up to what this guy's doing because he's got one thought process: get to the quarterback, okay? Yeah. So he might lose some of his integrity and his responsibility because of that. So that's what you have to be careful when you play a young player. That's why you pick your spots. And maybe it's 7 pass rushes in this game. Like a bat out of hell, 7, but you don't go out there and it's not 25 pass rush reps.
No. You probably won't have like 25 obvious. He is an obvious passing down guy. Third and long when it's going to happen. I will say this: Jackson Dart can run, and Womack's if he does have one move, the move that I saw him have success was just a beast. Beast bull rush, right? And if you're talking about trying to contain a guy, I do like a bull rush, right? You're not committing to either side. You're trying to plant that tackle in his lap, and then you kind of stay free.
Like he can run too. Anytime he
Jackson?
throws Deshaun Womack.
Yeah.
Anytime you throw 2 runs in there, trust me, that means something. Like he's on kickoff. He's down there covering kicks as an edge rusher. Like he can move, he can scoot. So with that being said, as a tackle, I know that as well, and that's why the bull rush is so effective.
One other thing I would say about watching Ole Miss on film is that after watching the success that Tulane's offensive line had against that defense, LSU's offensive line should dominate. I mean, guys, LSU's offensive line is legitimately, I think, the best that I've ever seen at LSU. They are, and granted, this comes with the caveat of I'm not really including those early Saban lines like Peterman and all those guys because I was young, and so I just watched those purely as like a very young fan. But since I've been doing this job, since I've been covering this team, this is the best offensive line that they have ever had, and I think they will dominate this Ole Miss front seven. I think, Jake, you can come out here, and if you wanted to, I mean, you can really run the ball against this team.
I was going to ask you that. Like, do you think that with the success you had against Arkansas, with the advantages you have up front, and more you're getting Logan Diggs involved, and look, Josh Williams had 1 carry for 41, so he was effective as well. Is that something that you could see LSU, right?
Yeah, take a little pressure off of Jake.
Take a little pressure off 5 back there. Let him get a feel for the game on the road because you hadn't really been stopped running the football. Now, Florida State, the game got out of hand. You never really had the opportunity to run the football. But outside of that, like, you've been very effective running the football. Do you come out and do you have, hey, I know we're a passing team. I know we have this electric offense, but also this has been highly effective. And you know what it does? It keeps their best player, Jackson Dart, Quinshon Judkins, on the sideline.
Yeah, I can already hear Champ typing out his "I told you to run the ball" response. But no, I mean, looking at this matchup, yeah, you should be able to have a lot of success in that regard. So I think you would. Okay, so that's kind of it for yeah, there it is. Run the effing ball, fat boy. Okay, I knew it was coming. Told you.
Hey, who's he calling fat boy?
Nothing if not predictable.
Body shaming just all over this show.
Look, man, I told you. I have boobs, so I can call it boobs when I see
we all
them,
do.
Okay? Shout out Sam Pittman.
It's a body part.
My boy, dude. Sam Pittman is still funny. Okay? It's still a funny joke. And you all know it is. You all know it is. Is it mean? Yes, but it is funny. You know that's to be true, okay? Mean stuff can be funny. In fact, you know what? You know what's going to be mean? Probably not funny, probably depressing. When we get back and we look at how much money you're paying each and every Saints offensive lineman. Coming up next here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. That's a good question, Greg. We can get back to that on the other side. 225-888-8888. Look at this, guys. I got my baseball national championship shirt. Remember 8,888 reasons to get it done? That's right, baby. The team did it. And a lot of your favorite athletes are doing it, and they're now on the G team. So, look, I would say go to @GetGordon on social media. Go check out the Sit Down with Malik Neighbors. Probably the best receiver in the SEC right now, one of the best in the entire country. Figure out what makes him tick. Or remember, you get in an accident, you need somebody who's going to fight for you, get you what you deserve. You want to get Gordon today, getgordon.com.
Multiple ways to find that information we tell you about, like at Get Gordon is the handle on all major social media. You can go to the website, getgordon.com. I actually think it's a great tool if you want to have a conversation on the site. Maybe you can't pick up the phone. If you want to find cases they can handle, past client results, all that's right there on the website. Now, as you all know, area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. Russ Mitchell of College Football News joins us to preview the weekend ahead in the SEC, and we'll take a closer look at the Bucks. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back to OTB. Jake, chat seems a little scared of Mizzou, dude. One of 3 remaining undefeated teams in the SEC. Boys, who are the undefeated teams in the SEC right now? Not you.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Missouri.
Yeah. I could not get this last one either.
It's Kentucky.
Yeah, it's Kentucky. I couldn't remember this.
I wouldn't have got that.
Wouldn't have got it either.
I always forget about Kentucky.
But it's because all I ever hear people say is that Kentucky's looked bad this year. but then they're undefeated.
They've just struggled against like the lower, but I mean they're winning.
Yeah, they're winning. I guess.
Beat the hell out of Vanderbilt, but a lot of people have.
Well, 2 pick sixes will do that as well.
Yes.
Didn't the same player get both too?
There's like 7 undefeated teams in the country. Maybe not 7. Maybe it's like 6 that aren't ranked right now. Like I know Louisville. I know Syracuse, Kentucky. I guess Missouri just did get ranked.
Mizzou's ranked, yeah. Hell yeah. Top 20, I think, right?
23rd, maybe.
Okay, never mind. I thought they were like 18. There's 27 undefeated college teams left.
Maryland's a team that's undefeated, not ranked.
Let's see who the lowest ranked. Okay, you know what, dude? The S&P Plus likes Kentucky. They got them 23rd, but they do have their strength of schedule to date 130th.
Yeah.
So Kentucky.
They played nobody.
Hey, so they ain't played anybody. Let's see here. This has the Marshall Thundering Herd as the worst undefeated team at 3-0. Though, did you see the video of Marshall, the drone video flying in the stadium before beating Virginia Tech? It was awesome.
Speaking of Virginia Tech and Virginia, my God.
Yeah.
They're bad.
And you know what's crazy? I can't remember the coaches' names, but I looked up their salaries, and like they both make like 4 or 5.
Well,
Pry's
Virginia
the coach
Tech
of
just
Virginia
hired
Tech.
Brent Pry, yeah.
He's a defensive coordinator from Penn State.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Virginia went and got Clemson's offensive coordinator, and turns out like when you don't have a generational quarterback, maybe all of Clemson's not the same Clemson.
If you were like one of these
Elliott?
schools,
Yeah.
if you're
Sean
one of these,
Elliott.
okay, so if you're one of these schools in the future, surely you've seen enough to avoid going the coordinator route and go get like a Kalen DeBoer or a Lance Leipold or something, right? Like someone who's won championships on lower levels as a head coach, rather than just a successful coordinator at a big school. I don't know. I'm like way down on the successful coordinator hires.
Yeah, I'm going to get somebody like.
I don't care if you've never heard of him.
I get a chance to interview DeBoer today. I'm fired up about
Nice.
it. Yeah, that guy was successful like on every single level that he ever coached at.
Yeah.
I mean, like you even go to Coach Bullard at Wyoming. Like Wyoming's been, really good. They got a win against Texas Tech. They play Texas tough. Like, okay, North Dakota State on his resume as a head coach. Yeah. And so I'm like, yeah, those guys win. They win wherever they're at. And it doesn't matter what the resources are. It doesn't matter what the pipeline is or is not in recruiting. They find a way to win. Like, do I want to go hire that guy or do I want to go hire somebody who's a coordinator and sometimes calls plays?
That's what I'm saying. It hasn't worked out recently. Although, look, Venable's doing pretty well at Oklahoma now, so I'm probably going to have to eat some crow there. If nothing else, defensively, they are about 1,000 times better than they were last season.
I mean, he did his time as a coordinator. Like, even that's a little different than this guy had a 2-year run, 3-year run. They're scoring a lot of points, and you look up, it's like, yeah, he had the #1 quarterback in the NFL draft that entire time.
Emil says, so you want to hire Garrett Riley or Sean Lewis as a head coach? I'm saying no. I think there's a lot of risk there. But look,
Sean Lewis has been a head coach.
Every I don't know who Sean Lewis is. I was more talking about Garrett Riley.
OC for Colorado. He was the head coach at Kent State.
So I would say that, but look, even that can go right. I mean, because Billy Napier would have matched the criteria that I'm talking about. I think what he did at UL is really damn hard to do, and obviously it has not translated to Florida. So hiring's always going to be a fraught process. Again, these coordinator hires, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm just guilty of looking at this situation specifically and the common denominator and just saying, it never works. Whatever, though, we're getting distracted. Let's get to the New Orleans Saints. As, well, we talked about it on Monday. A loss that probably you Saints fans, are still feeling the sting of. It's really hard to ever, in an NFL season where every win matters so much and the margins end up mattering so much, having a 17-0 fourth quarter lead and 99 win probability percentages and everything. That's it's hard to ever shake back from that mentally. Right now, the team has to do that. The fan base is trying to do so. And remember, when we broke down the game, what's the biggest problem? It's the offensive line. And I know we've talked a ton about the draft resources put in the offensive line, and in this exercise that will show up. But it's with the Cesar Ruiz extension, you look at the contracts, and it goes a step beyond the absurd. Like, it goes beyond just the draft capital that you've invested in this group. The actual monetary capital is shocking as well considering how bad they are and how bad they have been playing. So this comes from our boy Dat Boy Wolf on Twitter, one of the best Saints follows on Twitter. You need to check him out. But Eric McCoy, second-round pick, 5 years, $60 million.
Ooh.
Cesar Ruiz, first-round pick, 4 years, $40 million. Andrus Peat, first-round pick, 5 years, $57 million. Trevor Penning, first round plus more because of the trade, and obviously he has that first-round contract he's still on. Ryan Ramczyk, first round, 5-year, $96 million. Now, I'm going to give Ramczyk a pass here because that's someone who was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He was a great first-round pick. There's no way to say that he wasn't. And when you look at the problems that the offensive line is having, almost none of them belong to him. Like, I'm not saying that he couldn't be playing better because he's not playing to the Hall of Fame level that he was early on in his career. But I'll still, I'll pay Ramczyk that money. But McCoy, who's been so good and somehow is just falling off, over $10 million a year. Ruiz, $10 million a year. Pete, over $10 million a year. It is wild that you could invest so many resources into this group and they be your glaring Achilles heel. I mean, you threw together a D-line with popsicle sticks and bubble gum, and they're the strength of your team. It's crazy to me how badly you've missed on the offensive line.
I mean, you've put some capital in that position as well. It just turns out the undrafted players ended up being better. That is shocking, and you knew it. But as you lay it out and you see some of those numbers, and Ruiz just got paid.
Yeah.
Like, literally just got paid a couple of weeks ago. Like, the Andrus Peat didn't make a lot of sense at the time. And well, the guard market was soft, so you overpay? Like, that's a bench player.
He was doing like, it was a combination of the guard market, and then he had filled in Jake at that time there had been a bunch of injuries, and he had played right tackle, he played left tackle, he played left guard. So I think they were also like, we love his versatility, and like every other coach and every other human being, it is the pride of, this is our first round pick. He's played all right. Technically made like a Pro Bowl or something, right? A couple times. And it was like, we want to, we want to stick with our guy that we drafted because we think he's the guy, and he obviously has not been the guy.
So
ever.
basically, you're married to all of those players that you said for, I guess Pete's coming up. I mean, how long ago did he sign that contract?
Pete's I think in his final year, or maybe like
3 years ago.
Yeah,
so
it was a while ago now.
So like when you have a contract like that, like you're tied. You're tied to them. And what's Hurst making? I'm sure he's making a pretty decent salary as well, and his player performance is going to go way up. Would they still do player performance bonus? It doesn't matter. But that's a lot of resources to one position group, and you expect that position group with the numbers you just laid out there and knowing where they were drafted as well to be elite.
What do you think about this? Champ of the chat says, I think some of the O-line, yeah, exactly. But I think some of the O-line issue is so much predictability of the offense, honestly.
I think there can be some fairness in that statement. Now, it's not all on them. I mean, pass protection is pass protection as well.
Yeah.
Like on third down pass pro, when it's 3rd and 7, everybody in the NFL is throwing that football.
Yeah,
and that's your individual matchup. Now, in the run game, okay, yeah, we can have that conversation. There's a lot of predictability in the run game and when you're going to run the football. But when you're losing your individual matchups on the money down, when everybody in the stadium knows you're going to throw the football, it is what it is. You got to do better.
You have to do better. And the thing is, we've seen McCoy be better at times, right? Like Ruiz was on a consistent positive trajectory until this recent just complete shattering of the offensive line. So here's hoping they figure it out, because if they do not, it will be the thing that holds this Saints team back, as they've already seen firsthand. When we get back, let's close out hour number 1 of OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com. Go see them off of Airline Highway today. And the website that I gave you, that's a great place to start, because you can look at the selection, you can look at the deals, whether it's new, Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get that warranty, maybe you want to rent. All-Star Toyota has cheaper per-day rental price than traditional rental companies. And like when your car, if it ever needs any big repairs or anything, Jake, you bring it in and it has to stay there for a day or two. It's real easy to get an interim rental so that you and your life and your family can continue to go on. I took advantage of it just recently. I love buying from All-Star. All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, and you will as well. And if you want to customize that new vehicle, if you want to build your Toyota, you can do it right there on the website. All you got to do is go to new, click down, go to build your Toyota. And remember, it's whatever you want, whatever color you want, whatever additions you want to add, also what you want to take away. It's whatever you want to make it. AllStarToyotasBatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Scooch, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly...
Voisier, inviting you to join me along with the coaches Todd Black and Jimmy Roy for the next edition of Louisiana Prep Weekly. We'll welcome in our special guest, Parkview Baptist head football coach Stephon LaFours. Louisiana Prep Weekly, Wednesday night at 6, live from Walk-Ons in Town Center on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
So yesterday after practice, the media was treated to a new face as Whit Weeks was made available. They rarely make freshmen available. You quickly saw why. His energy is infectious. You'll see it in the clip we're about to play. But I don't know. I mean, watch this clip. I'm not convinced that this isn't actually a time traveler.
It's a feeling that I've never had in my life. Running out the tunnel, you can't even feel your body. Like last week against Mississippi State, the first play, I couldn't feel my legs because it was my first start, so I was real nervous, of course. And then this week here at home, I knew it was going to be a totally different ball game because it's a different level here than anywhere else. But I mean, being out there, once I kind of got comfortable with it, the crowd was loud. It was awesome. It's a feeling that
I mean, okay, so many notes.
I gotta hear him say Mississippi
State, man. Mississippi State. Play it again. Play it one more time.
Play it one more time, please.
you can't even feel your body. Like last week against Mississippi State, the first play, I couldn't feel my legs because it was my first start, so I was real nervous. Of course.
I mean, okay, so a lot of notes here. First off, A-tier accent. Just an A-tier accent. I think he's from Georgia?
Georgia, yeah.
He's from Macony, right?
Yeah, his dad played at Georgia.
Apparently there's another Weeks brother in high school right now who's already like well over 6 feet, 200 pounds. But anyway, the other part is, and I'm sorry if you're listening on the radio because it doesn't translate, but that's a time traveler. He looks like he's straight out of Dazed and Confused. Like that looks like, when I look at old pictures of my dad and his friends from Natchitoches in the late 70s, like that's exactly what they look like.
Oh, man. I do kind of enjoy just out there playing ball, running to the ball, see ball, hit ball, and like
great energy.
I know that he's like, I don't know what I'm doing half that. You know what you're doing. It shows on tape that you know exactly where you're supposed to line up, what you're supposed to do. But
also,
Mississippi State,
he's well built, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't look like no 18-year-old.
No.
Yeah, big old chin, thick neck. I'll see your whip. Man, I couldn't feel my legs. I'm so excited, man.
That's so
This is
good.
so cool.
That's so good.
Different here, man. Hell yeah. Shout out Whit. Love that clip. Hour 2 next. Flustered.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bone. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Companies regularly delay and deny valid claims because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Wednesday, September 27th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 93. Coming up on OTB, Matt Flynn joins the show in studio for a full hour of flestering. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to OTB. It is hour number 2 on a Wednesday, which means only one thing: flestering. Matthew.
Hey, buddy.
Flynn is here. Former national champion.
Again, you're never a former.
Never former.
Long-term NFL quarterback. Are you always a national champion?
Yes. They can't take it away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you won a national championship, but really the only national championship right
Well,
now.
technically, what you'd be saying is like as soon as the 2008 season started, I was former.
Well, no, as soon as a new champion is crowned. So like right now,
you could be
only,
a former NFL player.
Yes.
You used to play.
Yeah. So right now, only
Did you win a
the
Super Bowl? Yes.
It's former Super Bowl champ.
Rhetorical question.
Right now,
I knew
only
that.
the 2022 UJ Bulldogs are national champions.
That's stupid.
Until we reach one this year, which I do not think will be Georgia. Who's going to win the Natty, Matt? A little college football talk.
What about a Heisman winner? Are they former Heisman winners?
No.
They're
Heisman
always
Trophy
Heisman
winner.
winners.
Michael Penix Jr.
No,
it's not the former Heisman house. It's the Heisman house.
Yep.
It's everybody who won a Heisman in the past in the house.
No.
Yeah. Look, it's a semantic argument. It
This
doesn't
feels
matter.
like something like if he'd have won one in 2011, he would have called himself national champion T-Bob Hebert. But
no doubt. He's a little bitter.
I am a national champion. I mean, I got a ring. I got the
you-
ring to
you
prove
forget
it.
it often.
It is true. It is a fair point.
He forgets it often. He never talks about it.
I know.
He's 2-team scout team player of the week.
Mm-hmm.
He got you ready.
Chain gang,
Mm-hmm.
bud.
And so I've been introducing myself on the new show with AJ McCarron. So I was former 2-team scout team player of the week,
There was-
SEC honorable mention, and he's a 3-time Natty champ, Manning Award winner who's played in the league for like 9 years.
Pretty much the same guy.
Yeah, I mean, the resumes are not that dissimilar, to be honest.
I'll tell you what. I don't think you get enough credit from Glenn Dorsey. Like you got him ready every week.
He won a lot of awards in 07.
Won a lot of awards.
Yeah.
And correlation doesn't always equal
Did he
causation.
bring you
but
to the the ceremonies? Or
I told him not to. He asked.
Smart.
I told him not to. I said, no, bring your parents, bring everybody else, your fam, your coaches. I will. I don't need my name written.
There should be an asterisk though on the plaque that's right outside the locker room.
Yeah.
What do you win, like the outlet?
Well, if there's one thing that is
those
painfully
Figurski.
clear
A lot
about
of them,
me,
actually.
if there's one thing that's painfully clear about me and my life choices, my vocation, it's that I don't seek attention. I would rather just be hidden away from the public eye, just doing good, solid, humble, hard work. Never would I ever want to call the spotlight on myself in any way whatsoever.
T-Bob, man of the people.
Yeah.
You know what really, side note here, just from from our conversation is like it still really pisses me off when I see a number 72 defensive lineman at LSU.
Oh yeah, 72 should be.
He should be retired.
Done.
I mean, come on. What are we
Shelvin
doing?
was kind of nice in it for a second.
Yeah, but still, like,
No, but, you know, out
he
of
could be the
principle.
greatest player,
Yes,
the greatest
I agree.
kid.
I agree.
Just stop it.
Yeah.
When
really pisses
like
me off.
if that doesn't deserve to never be worn again, like what does?
Seriously.
Like 9 is never going to be worn again.
Right.
Like they don't pass 9 out, and they won't. It just won't happen.
Why would you? Yeah. We had some strongly worded conversations with G-String.
Yeah, we have.
Wasn't his call then.
Who makes that call? Why isn't it retired? He's the main player in the national championship winning team.
There's
What do you
a
have to do
set
to
of
get your
rules, I
jerseys
believe.
retired?
But
There's a
sometimes you
lot
just
of
have to
rules.
use common sense.
Like there's a lot of rules for the LSU Hall of Fame and
Yeah.
for statues and jersey
There's
retirement.
a lot of rules. And I get it. It makes it more meaningful. But
Yeah, he's the most-
sometimes use common sense.
He's the most decorated defensive player in school
what
history.
can you do
and
for-
finish
as
with a
as
national championship?
Defensive tackle. What else can you do?
Exactly.
Like, come
No,
on.
exactly.
Don't
Very
put
true.
another defensive tackle in that
Wait,
number
he's
when
even
one
a-
guy has done the most you can as a defense at the position.
And he's even a he's even a hometown hero.
Yeah, he's from here.
Yeah, that's what I'm
From
saying.
EA.
It's not like he like came in from somewhere else. Not that that should matter, but like even somebody like Burrow, I mean, I love what he did for Louisiana, and obviously he will always be a part of Louisiana. But he's like a Ohio hometown hero. Like Glenn Dorsey is born and raised for the boot, and brought
And
the
he's
boot
one
to
hell
where
of
he
a
wanted
model
to be.
American.
Yeah,
He really is.
Hell yeah.
It's like, why are
Great
you so
human.
nice?
What does he do all the
He was
time
like a
now?
bad
Just-
dude. All right, maybe like he rubs some
Yeah.
people the wrong way that have a vote, but like, golly, what a great dude.
What does he do? Does he just golf in Calabasas?
All day.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a good life.
That's what he does.
Hey Matt,
Hey, bud.
what if I told you
I know this.
LSU had the highest scoring offense in the league right now in the SEC? Jaden Daniels, the highest rating passer, leads the conference in touchdowns, is completing 72% of his passes at 10.5 yards per attempt.
I'd say we got to be undefeated.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Yeah, so it's Jaden Daniels. They lost to Florida State, you think?
No. I say the whole team
The
lost.
point is, it's weird because there is a continuous debate amongst the LSU faithful over whether or not like Jaden's good or this offense is good. And again, it just continues to be more and more at odds with what the actual numbers are saying. What did you think where this last game he comes out and for a quarter and a half, it's not just bad, it's awful, right? It had the feeling of Arkansas last year, Auburn last year, and then right before half, it all kind of changed, right? They could get 3, then it's 7, 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 then it's 3. Did you learn anything watching a quarterback kind of pull out of a death spiral?
Did I learn anything?
Or like, does that mean anything to you? Because I take value in watching a guy who, where last year maybe he would have stayed bad the entire game, this game started really bad and found a way to kind of find himself and get it fixed within the game.
So obviously our offensive ceiling is really high.
Yes,
we've
super
shown it in for a full game against Mississippi State, but we've shown it in spurts throughout the year. And I know there's an overcritical aspect to people watching Jaden, and even I'm critical of it at times. But the numbers don't always lie, and they're not lying now. They are explosive. But what's frustrating, and like it's kind of like when you're a coach and you say, "Man, I'm hard on you because you got it." Like I wouldn't be hard on somebody that sucks.
I wouldn't waste my time.
I wouldn't waste my time.
Yeah.
So like I'm hard on him just from a detail perspective. So
Yeah.
like a lot of times, I mean, he's so gifted and so talented from an athletic level. He doesn't have necessarily the greatest like flick of the wrist arm talent that you see. So I
No.
mean, like he's not. That's not him.
No,
That's
it's
not a
like we
guy.
talked about in the past. He throws a ball that's a little weird at times. I know you've talked in the past about how it kind of goes nose down a little bit, which could be a tough game. And you could see that so clearly at the beginning of this last game. The
How
nose
does that
down
happen?
thing was very evident.
Like, how does that happen? Because his first couple of throws.
Is that a release angle?
I mean, I'm at the game and I'm looking at it, and the first person I thought of was Flynn.
Me too.
Because I'm like, okay, this is what you're talking about. This is when he gets into trouble. And he even had success later on. Like he had some underthrows that got called for touchdowns, but then he fixed it within the game. It's like a couple throws to Malik are like just dimes.
That's what's mind blowing. Like let's take last year for example. Like there was some games you're like, man, we just can't win. He doesn't have it right now. Like he's not, the completion percentage is down. There's drops, but like why are there drops? And then there's games he's like, oh my God, this guy should be top 2 or 3 in the Heisman race. Like if he just keeps playing like that. Now, this year he's putting it together more and more.
Right.
Early on in the game, like he makes the hard things look really easy, but sometimes he makes the really easy things look hard.
That's fair.
Okay? And it's getting less now. Like he put it together. He pulled himself out of a little bit of a funk. But it was just like a mechanical thing. You're not accurate with simple throws, not taking the easy stuff, making like easy throws look hard, like having like guys, you don't want guys coming across the middle to reach under their knees or even reach under their waist.
Right.
But he fixes it. Like he gets in the rhythm of the game. He's kind of like an in the zone type of accurate passer.
Yeah.
Like you're probably not gonna go out to practice and be like, dang, that guy can spin it. But like when you get into the rhythm of the game and you get into the competitive juices flowing, very accurate. And on a completely different level, of course. But Joe Burrow was kind of the same way. Like you go watch Joe throw, and he's not the biggest, like, dang, what a booming arm, tight spiral, like just warming up. Like you would see him and Miles Brennan warming up. And like Miles, tighter spiral. But like you get into the game and like the football IQ, and then Joe just doesn't miss when the game's on the line.
Yeah.
It's just those juices get flowing. But
well, and that's one thing that Jaden's been pretty good at his entire career. If we think about it, has been clutch performances, right? Like last year against Florida State definitely stood out, a game where he doesn't have it all game, then in the fourth quarter goes off. Obviously the Alabama game would be one of those. This last game, again, getting that touchdown before half and then coming out and then the 5-minute drive to end the game to where they don't even have a chance. Like, yeah, that was I think he does. You're right. He has a little bit of that game raspberry. I would say
it's frustrating because he's so talented from a just an athletic perspective. If he was able to clean up some of the early game errors, mental errors, and clean up a lot of his mechanics, like, he should be in New York. I mean, he still might be. But if he did the little things right, man, his
well, you heard Brian Kelly talk about
charts. Like, we wouldn't be able to be stopped.
He could win his way to New York because the stats are going to continue to be crazy, I think. He just has to win.
But the mechanics of it, I mean, Brian Kelly was talking about that. I mean, this is a player also who's played a lot of football. So, like, I wonder what it is where he gets out of that rhythm, gets out of his mechanics, because I was telling T, I was at the game, and the TV didn't show it, but, like, he had, like, a 3-minute conversation, BK, Jaden Daniels, on one of the series where they didn't score a touchdown. They had to settle for a field goal, and it felt like BK was going through the mechanics, and he was, like, talking with his hands a bunch about his drop maybe and rushing things. How do you do that when you've played that many games, and how do you get out of that? Or is it actually something that it always creeps up?
Yeah, a game's not the time to work or talk mechanics, right?
But I think
you can talk some footwork. You can talk some, like, moving around. But
he said he was hurrying everything up.
He did say footwork. He said footwork. He said that, like, early on that he was slow in his drops and it was making him hurry up on his throws, and that he had then they kind of talked about it. He adjusted it, and that's when he started to find his way.
So when I made the jump from college to NFL, like, my progression as a quarterback, like, went into hyperdrive. Like, I look back at myself in college and I'm like, damn, I suck.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to ask you about this.
I mean, we all do.
Because when you watch, and sorry, I want to let you go, but I've been meaning to ask you this whole time, like, when you watch the college game now, how much of this is because you hyper accelerated to it? Like, you got access to such forbidden knowledge. Like, you learned so much about the game of football. Like, is it hard for you to maintain perspective on what a college quarterback normally is like?
It is. It certainly is.
Because it's like me watching, like, high school football when I came back from college, and I'm like, oh my God, this is what I used to stress about? Like, this is what I thought was hard?
Yeah. And I think the gap probably from a quarterback perspective is a lot narrower now from college to the NFL.
Right. Well,
like when we were playing,
like,
not that many people played as rookies or in the NFL.
No, even number one overall pick, like, you're sitting for a little bit.
Yeah.
The gap was so much bigger. Now I think it's a little bit more, the quality coaching's a little bit more universal. Like, it's
Yeah.
Like it's funneled down. Like, and I think they're doing a lot.
The game's
more.
similar, more than it's ever been.
It's more
before.
similar. Yeah. From league to league. Yeah. But yes, I was thinking about that the other day because y'all were giving me a hard time about judging Jaden's bad, a couple bad throws here, too much. And it's like, man, it's because I love him, right? Because I know he can be great. And like they're little silly quarterback, just simple mechanical fixes, right? That are easy. But yeah, I think I do get in the habit of judging college kids at an NFL level.
I think I did the same thing when I'm looking at running back protection. T-Bob and I spent like an entire segment last week. Like the running backs within the LSU offense spend far too much time checking protection and not getting out. Man, it's like that guy cannot come. Like where he's lined up, he is not a threat to you. Do not look over there.
Yeah.
You can give a glance. Don't stare over there. It's like, okay, by alignment, this guy can come. He can come. And you got to go check, out.
Yeah.
And it's like check, arms out, patrolling the area, what's coming, anything coming. Okay, now out my route. Well, all you've done is you've added to the rush. You've muddied it up for the quarterback. And I'm like, man, you've got to get out. Now, that's from playing in the NFL and knowing
making
coverages.
A career out of having good.
You got to have
protection.
perspective. Like these guys were at their high school prom like 2 years before. They're probably just they have to go to school half the day football. So
I mean, because like at the next level for a running back, like you have a second, not even really a second, to check your protection and the quarterback. You're expecting me to be on a check down, an M route, whatever it might be, and you're expecting me to be open. But like within this offense, it's like 3 seconds, 4 seconds sometimes. And then you got green dog situations where they're adding to the blitz, and that's just inviting problems.
Yeah.
And it's tough because like you look at the FSU game last week and the Clemson back getting out of there getting out of there fast, but not understanding his full responsibilities, got out too fast and allows a safety that should have been unaccounted for.
Lost in the game.
Yeah, I mean it's a sack, force fumble, scoop, pick, fumble, return for a touchdown, and it changes everything. So,
but look,
it's a hell of a needle that you got to thread there.
It is, but if you know by alignment, like okay, that is a threat. Backside, that guy can absolutely come because where the safeties are, where the corners are, and what you have on the front side, like you. Now, also this I'll say in the NFL, they play sound defense. So you're like, there's no way that this can come from this look. In college, you maybe don't know that
sometimes
as much.
In college on defense, you can like make a mistake on your way to a great play. Like I'm not supposed to be here, and the quarterback thinks I'm probably somewhere else.
That was the Eli Ricks special.
I was just about to say,
LSU,
the LSU coaches were always like, every time Eli Ricks gets an interception, he's in the wrong coverage.
I did see this past week. I saw some really good checkdowns, which we've been screaming about.
From what, LSU?
From LSU.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they just weren't getting the checkdowns. They weren't getting their guys out. A checkdown is like a quarterback's best friend. It's an offensive lineman's best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what Aaron Rodgers was telling Zach Wilson on Hard Knocks and everything,
Check down.
But then how do you avoid – so, again, tough needle to thread. How do you avoid becoming check down Charlie?
You go through your progression.
Okay.
Like I've been around quarterbacks that we call check down Charlie because he was like ball in hands versus check down.
Why do people why are when you're running when a defense is playing zone, you're running a 3-man route down the field, why is everybody covered? Because usually routes are designed to create different triangles around the field, different high lows to spread zone defenders out. Why are people not open? Because you're underneath guys, the backers are dropping into those zones.
Yeah.
And so when you hit a check down or two, they stop dropping into those zones.
So you're starting to open up the gaps for the triangle combination.
It's all about creating space between defenders and making them make a decision. So,
oh my God, I feel a bit like old school when Will Ferrell answers that question so seriously. Ryan Bragg, the chat saying flustering football content has already hit the over. And we just talk pure football for 15 straight? Unbelievable. I never thought about that, though, in terms of like kind of stretching the zone a little bit and opening up some thorougways for the routes just by a simple.
That's all that.
That's all
that pass games is.
There's so much hidden value in football, though, like because you just think check down. I've always thought about it. Well, it's just a good way to get 2 or 3 yards or something positive out of nothing. I don't even think about the ancillary effect of no, now the backers have to be shallower.
That's why, especially at the college level, that's why you're starting to see a lot of parity. That word's used a lot. I had to look it up the other day.
Yeah, with a T. How about that?
With a T. I was looking up how to spell it in a group chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can pop it off in a group chat.
I did, right? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to start seeing it a lot more, because at this level, a lot of times football IQ outweighs physical talent and gifts. So, like, if you can train running backs, receivers, even on the defensive side of the ball, really high football IQ, understanding the why of everything, it can you can beat more talented teams.
That's interesting. I never really thought. I always kind of felt like it was the opposite. Like on college, you just win with physical force, and then the NFL is all about like, okay, everybody's physically dominant, but who knows the most?
That's a good point too. But at the college level, if you get a team and you can train them to be very high football IQ, that's why you see teams that have been together for a long time who have returned a lot of starters.
I think our championship team in 07, like, you didn't have an offensive lineman take a snap in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right. You had more 3-stars than you did 4 and 5 stars as starters. You had older guys, veteran guys that have been around there.
And I'm pretty sure you all set the scoring record at the time. I mean, it's a different offense. It's not the spread of nowadays, but y'all still had a better offense than LSU.
Not a lot of MAs though within the offense or defense. Like, that was one thing that was really good about that team. Certainly not like a lot of people want to say, well, the 05, the 06 team more talented. You might can say that, but 07 understood the assignment way better.
Yeah, because if you had an MA, one of your teammates would just punch you in the face.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's culture. Okay?
Culture.
That's called culture, folks.
Just kidding.
All right, when we get back, more flestering. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
So obviously these two are experts when it comes to football, but they don't know crap about steel, okay? You know who does?
Yeah, I lost to the Steelers every time I played them.
Community Steel Company.
They're good.
Okay, just go peddle your hydration somewhere else, because I'm talking about purlin, tubing, and steel buildings. And it's all right there in Gonzales, Louisiana. Okay, live and local sales team. Jake will give you the number. You call Community Steel number. You deal with that sales team directly. No middlemen jacking up the price. The best prices, the best selection, all local. Community Steel Company.
Yeah, if you want to go stop by the shop in Gonzales, they've been open for almost an hour already, 7:30 until 5, and that's Monday through Friday. Go hang out, and if you just want to pick up the phone and call them, remember, you're not talking to somebody in Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, some major city. You're talking to somebody right there in that building in Gonzales. They're right there to help you today. 225-647-2020. 225-647-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer.
Tune in this Sunday as we bring you a trio of NFL games, starting with our noon kickoff, the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Then immediately following, we'll bring you the Raiders and Chargers before our nightcap, the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets, here on 104.5 ESPN.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Hey, full disclosure, I don't know what the rules around analysts or shadow staff is in flag football, but if you run into Jake's Ducks.
Yep, quack, quack.
Okay, he's got a little bit of Saban pushing the rules going on here.
Yeah.
As during this entire break, all Matt Flynn and Jake did was design flag football route combinations. I feel like that's a bit illegal. That's a bit of an illegal benefit.
Oh.
I mean, how many coaches are you allowed?
As many as you want.
Okay, never mind then. Never mind.
And
then.
trust me when I
stand
say
corrected.
the Ducks have the fewest amount of coaches of any team at Traction. I can guarantee you that.
Bro, you got to steal. Did you see Dan? Okay, so did y'all saw the video Oregon put out there yesterday, the 5-minute documentary on the game?
Yeah,
it was so good, dude. I love the content wars going on between schools nowadays. Like, there's so many talented young filmmakers who now have these great outlets to tell these stories. Really dumb of Colorado, and granted, they edited it to where you see no Oregon crap talking because, you know, that fits the narrative. Colorado talking that ish, probably shouldn't have been, but did you hear Dan Lanning when he was talking about the Redwoods, Jake? You say ducks fly together?
Yeah.
When Dan was talking about, he was like, you ever seen a redwood stand alone? Why is a redwood so powerful? Because it's roots, and not just individual roots, because of interconnected root systems. Tell that to the 7-year-olds. Forget all this. Tell them that. Guaranteed dub.
Like, what's a redwood?
Look, I'm just
like
excited.
a cypress, an interconnected cypress
They
system.
They understand the cypress for sure. Look, I'm just excited. We're to the point with the Ducks now. I don't have to take a playbook out there. There's no playbook.
Wow.
We're all at the line. We're all at the no. We're at the line.
At the line.
We're at the line.
How many plays you
We're
got?
code word.
What?
You're
No
a fun and
way.
gun?
No way.
I mean, we got 20.
Does a kid play quarterback?
Oh yeah.
And so y'all have code words. So you're saying like Pittsburgh, and they know what to do?
Every one of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's not even like, we're not one of those crazy practice teams either. We practice once a week for an hour.
I mean, do you even really care then?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking Flynn to draw me up a third down play.
What are y'all gonna name it?
We'll see.
Flestering?
We'll see. I don't want to say it and then I'm out there on the field at traction.
They can't see it though.
I'm about to drop Spider for
no,
him.
but
That's what we're about to do. We're about to drop Spider.
Spider Y banana. I don't know what Spider Y banana is. I just know it became a meme for a while there with John Gruden. I haven't played any flag football yet.
What was that?
I'm actually a number
was that Fox
systems
2
guy.
Spider Y banana? Was that the famous? Was that the
maybe?
Is Chris Sims?
Yeah. Oh
Chris
my
Sims?
gosh.
Yeah.
The clip. Have we ever played that? The clip of Chris Sims getting the play call from Gruden no less than 17 times, and he can't spit it out.
No.
Oh my! Have you
That's
seen?
a
You've
tough
seen that?
feeling,
Right?
'cause
Oh my!
I think
God.
every quarterback, when you go into new offenses, especially that are wordy, and you got a coach like that, like everyone's kind of been there. It's like,
Well, you hate number system, but you avoid that with number system.
Well, also screw Chris Sims though. He's always talking trash about the Saints. Chris Sims loves to talk about how bad the Saints are constantly. Drew Brees back in the day, you saw kind of do kind of bad quarterback rankings. Get out.
hey, speaking of, go Pack.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I didn't think
What a
about
win.
that. Hey, you play for the Saints
What a
too,
comeback
bud.
win.
Hey, you played for the Saints too, dude. What happened?
They didn't sign me back. That's what happened.
That was pretty. That was so. What was your biggest takeaway in that game? Because did you watch it? I'm guessing you watched
That's
it,
who
right?
you root for, right? Packers?
Do you cheer for
Yeah.
the Packers
Yeah.
every? Like, did you watch the Packers game individually every
I
Sunday?
did not because we had two big time
Soccer
youth
matches. I
soccer
saw
games.
you out
oh
there.
yeah. Oh,
I
yeah. had the
recorded mine and then went home and
5-year-old little girls soccer game at 1 o'clock, and then my
It was cold out there. I was
8-year-old
out there, too.
soccer.
Yeah, real cold.
Yeah, it was cold, chilly, real chilly. Yeah, so I was out there. It's a 4-hour day for us out there on Sundays. So not a lot of who needs NFL football, right? Get Sunday
Who pays for
night.
Sunday ticket just
Yeah,
to watch
seriously.
youth soccer at Breck?
Dude, we almost had our first dub. Ended
Ever.
up in a 9-9 tie. Third
that's-
season, still winless in everything.
That was a
Almost had
tough,
it. We tied though, so
third-
first non-loss.
Still winless in everything.
First non-loss,
Everything.
which is great.
Hey, y'all were playing a squad though. It was a good team.
Scott, actually, you know what? I think it was a different team because I don't know. A very good team. Scott Dice says, weren't we referring to Major Applewhite as minor black banana or minor banana black for a while? Yes, we were. That is Major Applewhite's bizarro brother.
I forgot about that. Anybody in here? I think T-Bob actually can do this. Can anybody tell me where Major Applewhite, minor black banana, is the offensive coordinator?
What are you saying?
Minor banana black.
Close. I messed
Where
it up.
like currently,
like Major Applewhite, like his evil
Applewhite.
brother is minor banana black. Get it?
Yeah. Mario just got it.
No, I remember us doing it.
Anybody?
Where is he? What?
The offensive coordinator.
Houston?
He was.
Somewhere obscure.
he coached at so many places. I don't know where he's currently
I
at.
got no idea, dude.
South Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
With Kane Womack.
I just remember him taking the lateral job to get away from Saban. to
Yes.
Duke. Wasn't it Duke?
It was. No, I don't think it was Duke, but it was somewhere like similar.
Yeah.
It's like
Was he the
He was the
QB
OC
coach at Bama, right?
He was the OC at one
He was
point.
the OC.
He
okay.
took another OC job at a low school to get away from Saban.
Wait, who do we think?
Might have been Houston.
Gulf South has
at
a
that
great
time.
question for the boys here. Who is happier for Jordan Love, Mario or Flynn? That's a good question.
Mario, you big Jordan Love guy?
They were giving me a hard time because I was giving him credit for the fourth quarter.
No, you said you were happy for him.
Mario exposed his penchant for being cuckolded when he wanted to go out of his way to give Jordan Love's props and how proud he was of Jordan Love for orchestrating an 18-point comeback.
That was a
against the
great
Saints.
comeback. I think you're right on the money there.
Thank you.
The Saints blew it. Packers took advantage of it. Saints maybe just a little jealous that they don't have Jordan Love.
Do you think the okay, whatever. I don't care. You don't care about the Saints O-line, do you?
Do I care about them?
No, I mean like do you have like do you have like a take on them? So I was going to ask you something about them, but there's probably no point. I don't know what you.
Let's just they're NFL offensive linemen, and I'll say that sometimes I don't even know what to say here. They're not playing great.
No.
No, it's not.
But a lot of times it's not just them.
We talked about that a little bit.
Okay.
So you think it could be a bit of scheme? Somebody asked that, and I don't have a.
I mean, it
great
could be
take on it.
everything.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know. I haven't.
Pete's
looked
not
and-
listening.
I haven't looked and schemed or looked at what the scheme was. All I know is that.
Well, it's fine. Jameis Winston's playing now, so his team's going to win. Doesn't matter. Finally got Derek Carr out of there, dude.
Cool. Go back.
I forgot what I was going to say.
I did hear y'all segment though. That's a lot of money they pay those guys.
It's a lot of money. $10 million a year on basically everyone.
$10 million to sit and watch.
Let me ask you: would y'all consider the last decade of Saints football a success?
I would say yes, because
growing up a Saints fan, I'd say yes as well.
Yeah, if you look at the whole Saints history, I don't think you can answer anything but yes.
You're asking to the standard they built.
I mean, just to the standard that you now have as an adult.
So when it comes to the NFL, I just want my team to be playoff relevant every year and win a playoff game every now and then. Now it's probably been too long since they won a playoff game. And it's still depressing that you beat the Bucs twice in the year in which they come back and beat you in the playoffs and end up winning the Super Bowl. You still have the Kyle Rudolph play that took away a playoff win in the Dome, the Minnesota Miracle. So there's been a lot of heartbreak, but you've still been 2018 to 2021, you were the winningest team in the NFL. So no postseason success, but that's a lot of good football to get to watch every Sunday. Mm-hmm. There's way worse.
That's why I'm saying take the whole the last 10 years and as a whole.
So. I think so.
I know at times it's been fantastic.
There is a lot of 7-9 and 7-10 in there.
There's a lot of symmetry between the Saints and the Packers in the last decade.
Yeah,
fair.
I would say that most Packer fans probably, even though they won the NFC North every year, they're in the playoffs, lost so many NFC championships, I would say that it was a disappointment. And I think it's a disappointment for the Saints. You have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You have people around him. And at some point, you got to look in the mirror and say, what's the common denominator?
The Peyton regime.
The coaches that are still there are still tied to the prior staff.
Sean Payton's not looking too good right now either.
I would look a little high. I'd look a little higher.
70 points, dude. 70 points. You ever seen that?
70 points?
The Dolphins scored 70 points.
Yeah, a little bit higher.
A little bit higher. Well,
they should have kicked the field goal, dude. What? They should have kicked.
I know.
Looking back at it, I get it. It's a little mercy. But you got a chance to do something that no NFL team's ever done. Kick the field goal.
Also, remember, Sean Payton said that Tua was going to be benched last year when he was in his analyst role.
Yeah.
Which is a great, I kind of like to hold it up as a great, you can know so much football and still be wrong about stuff. Sean Payton knows infinitely more football. He'll forget infinitely more than I'll ever know. And he was still dead wrong on Tua and the potential therein.
That's why scouting's the biggest crapshoot in the world.
Yeah, exactly. All right, boys. Y'all have fun with us. This is Flestering. I got to take a little break from the show. Whoa. I got to go to Donuts with Dad. And then I'll be back in hour number 3. More OTB coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
There it is, the extra mile.
on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm here with former Tiger and attorney Chris Perrette.
Brody, one area of the game often overlooked is special teams. Having the best specialists can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Now, Chris, how does this relate to hiring the right attorney?
Just like on the football field, you want an attorney who has the special skills and experience to obtain victory. For more than 20 years, I've been winning for my clients in courtrooms all across Louisiana. Whether you've been injured in an accident or arrested and need to defend your rights, you want a Tiger on your team.
Chris, how can they find you?
Call me, Chris Perrette, at the law offices of O.C. Brown. 343-1111.
That's 343-1111.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Annie weekdays at 11 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. It's a What If Wednesday. JD Piquel of On 3 Sports will join us. And those SEC football power rankings. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
We do it now? Here we go. Welcome back. Off the Bench.
We do it now.
104.5, 104.9 ESPN.
Yeah,
I like to listen on 98.1 HD2. That's where I listen. It's like a little bit crisper audio.
It's HD radio.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here,
Mm-hmm.
T-Bob spot, so I'm hosting the show now.
Yeah.
Thanks for assisting, Hester. I looked down at the computer. T-Bob left his computer open, so
he ran out.
Just ran out. He was hungry. So I'm thinking about posting his search history in the message board. What do y'all think? Should I open the photos or no?
There's some people in this building that I'd say, yeah, go ahead, sure. T-Bob's not one of them. Now, I'll also say this. He's a veteran player. So he realizes the phone is easier than the computer. So if you had his phone, I would say absolutely not. But computer, 50-50.
But doesn't it, you think it syncs?
Oh, that's a hell of a point.
It probably syncs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unless
because
private
so
mode,
a lot of
privacy
times,
mode.
you'll see me checking my phone because this is a work computer. So everything I have is not synced up. So he's texting and doing stuff on his computer because it's all synced up.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mine's not. And so he gets a lot of his work done. Actually, in fact, if you text T-Bob, he's not going to write you back until he opens his computer.
Yep.
Typically the next morning. That's where he sees all of his messages.
Do you think I have access to his text messages
I think you
right
do.
now?
No, actually, I know you do.
Oh, I see it. He's got 73 unread? What are we doing?
Yeah.
You're not that popular. You don't know that many people. Open them.
No, you could say, okay, so the 73rd is probably
right?
from July 31st.
That's true. Or just all he does is group text.
Yes.
You ever get woke up at 5:30 in the morning just like ding, ding,
by
ding.
the human we're talking
you
about.
wake up every morning.
Well, yeah, but also the human that we're talking about, he will pop off about 7 or 8 in a row, usually at about 4:50, 5 a.m. after he's woken up, probably already got a workout in, and is seeing your text from 4 o'clock in the afternoon the day before.
I know people like that.
There's a lot of power that you have right now.
T-Bob is smart enough to look everything up in incognito mode.
Yeah, I would assume so there. All right, this is Flestering. Matt's the host, so I'm enjoying this. We've been doing this together for 5 years now.
It's more than 5. You just said it. Since
it was actually February of 2018 was the first show.
Oh, be darned.
Yeah, so 5 years. But you're hosting, so Captain, my captain, where are we going?
It's a good question. I hadn't thought about it.
All right, so
this segment is sponsored by My High.
You lose privileges. We tried to allow that. All right, a question that I've been asking everybody that I've been doing radio with, here, there, wherever I do it. Most impressive college football team so far in the 2023 season. And don't tell me you don't watch, because I know you.
I do.
You like to dabble. Okay, so you've watched across the country.
What's the rankings right now? Who's won?
You got Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, top 5. Number 6, Penn State. 7, Washington. 8, USC. 9, Oregon. And 10, Utah.
Good question. I would say nobody in the top 5 has been the most impressive. I mean, you want to say Florida State. That was my kind of chalk answer before this past week. Maybe I know it was a big win for them, but I thought they should have been so much better than Clemson. I feel like than the week before, not playing well. I would say just because I'm on the hype train right now and it's fresh on my mind, and I watched the 5-minute video yesterday. I would say Oregon, just because their coach has come off as like really damn impressive.
Yeah.
The way he got his team motivated and his answers post-game and all that stuff. I thought he was really impressive. And just based on the hype video alone, like, I'm on the train.
Well, look, you based your Joe Burrow Heisman Trophy campaign off a video of him wrestling Pete Warner in the tie wrestling contest.
True.
And that turned out to be factual.
Winner.
I mean, that was a year and a half before he won the trophy.
Yep.
So you can take a lot from a
deal.
video. Here's why Oregon is a great answer for me. Oregon can play Utah and UCLA style, but they can also play Washington and USC style offensively.
Yep.
That's what makes them a little bit different, right? And you could say, well, are they a little too much like that, a little too much like that? They're trying to be something they're not. No, they can actually be both.
Right.
And that's what makes that team scary, is because they can get in a track meet if you want to, but they can bog down if you need them to as well.
Yeah, so I think in recent history, I can't talk right now.
He's nervous.
This side of the table.
He's in this side.
In recent history, like the Pac-12 has been so far. Like there are good teams in the Pac-12, and there's 4 or 5 now that are ranked. But they end up all beating each other up, and somebody with one loss, like if you're a 1-loss Pac-12 team in recent history, you don't make the playoffs.
Right.
You're just done. So I think it's going to end up coming down to Oregon, Washington, USC, probably. I love Utah too. I love that quarterback.
All they've done
whenever he's coming back,
back-to-back Pac-12 champs.
So they got really good teams, but just like in recent history, I think they're going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
However, this is the year for a 1-loss Pac-12 champion.
If you have one loss, I don't even care what everybody else does. You're in. You have to be.
Yeah.
There's 6 ranked teams in that conference right now.
And usually it's the SEC second team that's keeping somebody out.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it might based on
no, it's not.
Based on, I mean, if LSU beats Georgia and Georgia's undefeated, maybe that happens. But I think that's the only way it happens.
Yeah.
If LSU wins out, loses SEC championship, they're not in.
This is a great conversation. Since you're the host, why don't we tease the rest of it? You send us to break.
Oh yeah, we got a short seg here, so let's go to break. See ya.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Call in Baton Rouge. Operator, what you put me on through? Gotta send my love down to
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. Russ Mitchell of College Football News joins us to preview the weekend ahead in the SEC, and we'll take a closer look at the Bucks. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Flynn, I think there's a world where the SEC is like the 3rd, maybe even 4th deepest conference right now in college football.
Yeah, right.
Look at the Pac-12. We just had that conversation. 6 ranked teams. ACC still has 6 undefeated teams.
Go off. No one respects you
The
anymore.
Big Ten's got 3 true championship contenders.
Who does?
The Big Ten. Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State.
Yeah, but everyone else sucks.
They do. but they have 3 championship contenders, and there's only 3 undefeated teams still left in the SEC. Were you listening to the show earlier, and can you name all 3?
I would say that the SEC has 3 championship contenders.
As much as the Big Ten? Like the 3, you're going LSU, Bama, Georgia. Would you put those up against Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan?
All right, so right now, let's go. We'll take LSU versus Ohio State, Georgia versus Michigan, Alabama versus Penn State. What's the record? It's a good question.
It's a fair question.
It's a fair
and how you'd have to see how the matchup.
Got to tier it.
Would be actually, I think Penn State's better than Alabama. I've been highly impressed with Penn State. Well, because they don't play your style of football. We get it. They're still like full house backfield. All right, they're still running the football. They still want to. I know you hate it.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, you do.
I like old school stuff.
But that's how they've been able to get it done. So
I mean, you just not going to win a championship. But it's fine if you want to win a few games.
So you don't think Michigan can win a championship because they play a similar style as well? They haven't won a playoff game, so that's not rhetorical.
I'm going to say until they prove they can, I'm going to say no.
You don't think that style of football can win a championship?
No, I'm not saying that.
No, you
just saying. I'm just saying Mr. Khakis himself.
Okay. Well, weak chin, baby cakes.
I know, because you're just going to say, oh, Georgia did it.
No. I didn't say that at all. We used to make fun of Harbaugh we used to do segments where we made fun of Harbaugh.
He's got a weak chin
exclusively.
And no cakes.
Yeah.
Got it.
So.
But he kind of turned it around.
But he hasn't won a playoff game yet.
He almost got fired.
You should go to Patient Plus, patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better quality care for life's little unexpected moments. Patientplusuc.com. I'll be back. Hour number 3.
Drink my high.
DrinkMyHigh.com.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right. Go to activeBR.com, activeBR.com, and maybe you're already at work. Maybe you're already in the cubicle, can't get to the phone. That is okay, because you can go to that website that I gave you, and you can schedule your appointment right there in the top right corner of it, right there. Red box, can't miss it. Schedule online. I've actually done it during the show, and they've been there waiting on me when I got done with the show. And remember, you're going to know exactly who is coming into your home to do the work, repair, installation, whatever it might be. They're going to send you a profile. It's going to be a picture of who's coming into your home. You're actually going to get a lot of information about who's coming into your home. It's just another great service you're going to get from AccuTemp, and you know the work is going to be fantastic because the internet, it hates everything. Literally everything, but it loves AccuTemp, and you can go check out those reviews online, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. The customer service is second to none. AccuTempBR.com is that website, 225-401-6840.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps. Your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Wednesday, September 27th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 93. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, and welcome back in hour number 3 of OTB. T-Bob, little dad and donuts, dad with donuts. I can't remember what he said the name of it was, but obviously dadding always comes number 1, and I think he'll be back here to wrap up the show. But I did have something I wanted to do here in this segment that I do a lot on Off Campus, and we do it every single Monday, and it's a great tool to kind of keep you accountable for some of the things that you say, because one of my pet peeves in this business is only championing for when you were right. And you raise your hand, you clip it up, you put it out there, look when I was right, look when I was right. Not a fan of that. Now, you can do that if you're also accountable for the things that you got wrong. And so I do a segment, right, wrong, and indifferent. And typically it's like week to week. But now that we're past a couple of different weeks, we're really in the second quarter. If you look at it, I mean, that's how coaches always break it down in college, right? The first 3 games, first quarter, next 3, second quarter, so on and so forth. And so now that we're past that point, I want to take a look. And fellas, I didn't give you a lot of heads up because I want to get your organic reaction. I want y'all to go along with me. And so let's start on a positive note. Let's start with something like during the offseason, and this is the totality of college football, not just LSU. Let's talk about things we got right, what did we get wrong, and what still lives in that gray area that we call indifferent. And I think for me, now I was high on Washington, but that one doesn't feel like it's falling into this category. There was a lot of people that were pretty high on Washington. They won 7 games in a row to end last season, including a bowl victory against Texas. They, to me, have looked like the most dominant team in college football so far. So I won't go Washington, but I'll go with the Duke Blue Devils. That was a team that I was high on. Taylor, if that's yours, that's fine, because Taylor was right there with me. Riley Leonard, what they did a year ago, won 9 games, could have won 10, maybe even 11 if you go back and you look at the way some of those games played out. And right now they're 4-0. Right now they're 17th in the country. Right now they're hosting the football edition of College Game Day for the first time. They've held the basketball edition plenty of times. Now Wallace Wade gets its opportunity to host College Game Day for the first time. When you look at what they've done, 149 points scored, only given up 35 points this entire season. They have played more than half of their snaps up by 14-plus points. Think about that. 58% of the time when Duke snaps the football or it's snapped against them, they've been up by 14 or more points. 58% of the time. And this Duke team has a great opportunity. Notre Dame coming to town. Now, their back's against the wall, but also how much did last week affect them? That's a very physical football game with Ohio State. And so I feel like I was pretty right on Duke so far, and I think that that's going to continue on down the road. Mario Jerez, what did you get right so far in this college football season?
Yeah, mine honestly probably would have been Duke as well. I think A&M really misses Elko. You've seen that from their defense the last few years. But another team that's done pretty good so far that I was high on is Penn State. I thought they kind of made a statement against Iowa there in the last game. They're undefeated. Alar has had really good moments. I feel like he's still kind of coming along. Maybe he could be really good by the end of the season, but they've looked pretty good so far, at least as good as they were expected to be.
Taylor?
I really wanted to go Duke and Riley
did.
Leonard. I'm not going to do it, though. I'm going to go with Bo Nix. I remember all offseason long, anytime somebody's like, okay, who's the top quarterbacks in college football? Who are guys that are Heisman candidates? Even last week leading up to Colorado, like for whatever reason, no one mentions Bo Nix. And it's probably because like he didn't have a ton of success at Auburn. I put that on the coaching staff more than I do Bo Nix. I waited for him for 2 years at Auburn to break through, and he never did. And he's been phenomenal at Oregon. And everybody could say, well, you beat up on a Colorado team that was undermanned. Yeah, he did, but he still completed like 85% of his passes. And, I mean, he just seems to come up clutch in the biggest moments, in the biggest games. And he's done that really his whole career. So Bo Nix is a guy I've always been high on, and he's continued his high play this year.
He's completed like 80% of his passes this year, not just in a singular game. And you're talking about a veteran, ace veteran, right? I mean, you're talking about somebody that he's got starts in his career, in his college career, against Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. That's how long Bo Nix has been a starter. He was a starter from day number one. And his first ever game was against Oregon and Justin Herbert. I mean, so he has been through the fire, good, bad, and indifferent. I mean, he has been through it all, right?
Well, and not only that,
Bo.
like to your point, like I think that's why he has to be considered one of the top quarterbacks in college football, because his first game was on the road, like you said, against an Oregon and a Justin Herbert. He didn't play well that game, but you know what he did with the game on the line?
Yeah.
He took his team down the field and he won the game. And that's what Bo Nix has done his entire career. It may not always be pretty, but, I mean, he gets the job done a lot more times than that.
All right, let's go to indifferent. I want to save wrong for the last portion of this segment. What is still indifferent? What lives in that gray area where we haven't yet decided if our take was right or wrong? Mine's going to be Alabama. I was not very high on Alabama. I'm still not there yet. You don't lose the number 1 pick and the number 3 pick at the most important positions, replace them with who you replace them with, and be a better football team. Just doesn't happen like that. Still got questions about who's going to be the playmaker on the outside when you're playing other elite competition and talent. I don't know that. Running back, you're Alabama. I think you've got that figured out. Your offensive line is much better at run blocking than they are pass protecting. You have a quarterback right now that hasn't figured it out yet. Not to say I'm going to close the door on Jalen Milroe. Defensively, I think you can win a lot of games for your team. Now, I would like to see a high-powered offense, one that has playmakers on the outside, which Ole Miss is just now getting healthy. They didn't have. I want to see that matchup. So I'm not saying I was wrong, certainly not saying I'm right. I still think it lives in that gray area that we're talking about. I don't know where Alabama is right now. It seems like right now, week in and week out, you're going to get a different version of Alabama, and we haven't gotten that during the Nick Saban era. You know exactly who they are. They know their identity. We know their identity. But I don't think we know, and I don't think they know who they are right now or what the best possible version of them can be. They're still trying to figure that out, and we'll see if they do as that LSU game continues to loom on their schedule, and one that I'm sure they have circled after the way last year's game ended. Mario, what is indifferent still for you? A take that you had in the offseason, you still don't want to make a verdict on that decision.
Yeah, speaking of teams that I hope do bad, I think the jury's kind of still out on USC. They're 4-0. They have Williams. You know, they're going to get far with him in that offense alone. But their defense has definitely looked suspect at times in the first 4 games. Gave up 28 to San Jose State. Gave up 28 against Arizona State and didn't cover in that game either. So they're probably going to run through most of their schedule. Maybe we won't really know about their defense and if it's good enough towards, the end and possibly a playoff scenario. But USC, jury's definitely still out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree with USC, and I was on the other side of it. I was on the wrong side of it right now. Not like I was wrong, but I was thinking that their prediction would be something that they would finish lower than what it was predicted, and we still don't know. Their schedule is about to beef up. We're about to find out a lot about USC, and maybe something this weekend. I'm not calling for an upset. I mean, Colorado is not there yet, but interesting to see what that offense can do against USC's defense. All right, Taylor.
Yeah, Hester over here stealing my notes. I was also going to go Alabama, but I'll go Tennessee. A lot of people picked Tennessee to finish second in the East this year.
Mm-hmm.
I picked them to finish fourth. I am still not a Joe Milton believer. I've never gotten the hype, but we've seen some good from Joe Milton. We've seen some bad. We've seen some good and bad from Tennessee. So that's a team I wasn't as high on as everybody, but it's one of those teams kind of like in Alabama where it's like, what is this team? Like, how good are they the team that lost to Florida, or are they gonna pick it back up at the end of the year? So that's the one I'm kind of jury's still out on.
So who did you have 2 and 3? Just curious now in the East.
So I had South Carolina 2. I was high on them, but that offensive line's bad. Like I don't see
Spencer
that
Rattler's playing his
Spencer Rattler's been great.
Right
well, and that was my point. I was like, if he can be a fraction of how good he was the last 5 games of last season.
He's just been getting crushed.
But nobody knew how bad their O-line was going to be. And I had Kentucky 3rd, which is another one I'm still kind of up in the air.
Yeah, I mean undefeated, so it still plays. I think I went Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, or maybe Tennessee and South Carolina.
I just trusted Spencer Rattler and Devin Leary more than I did Joe Milton. That's why I picked him ahead of him.
And Devin Leary, I think his best ball is still ahead of him. He's turned the ball over 5 times already, which is not like him in his NC State career. Yeah, Tennessee right now, because that Florida loss, they got beat up. They got bullied by Florida, and Florida came back and not overly impressive against Charlotte. So it's like you get down on Florida, and then you get high on Florida, and then it kind of evens back out because you're like, okay, well, is Tennessee just bad? Like, we don't know that, and I think that's a good one. Taylor, all right, what have we gotten wrong so far in this early college football season? Now, I say early. I mean, we are, as coaches say, we're in the second quarter of this deal, and we have been. Now this is the second week in the second quarter. I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I think that is my biggest miss so far in the offseason. I was not sure that Brent Venables could get it done as a head coach. He has been a great coordinator, one of the better coordinators across the country in the last decade plus, maybe the best, most consistent. What he did at Clemson, and last year was ugly. I mean, you were 125th in total defense. You were a team that once your quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, went down, you were a shell of yourself. I mean, you couldn't score points, and you were giving up a ton. I was like, can they get this fixed? And Brent Venables, during the offseason, he talked about his roster. He's like, I could have come in here and I could have had 60 new players because I think that's what we needed. But I didn't do that. We did it slow, and now we're going to reap the benefits because of the way we built this roster. And you kind of eye roll that. At least I did. But now you look at it and, okay, Oklahoma is not being talked about right now. Like, Oklahoma is probably going to go into the, do we call it the Red River Rivalry showdown? I don't really know what we call it now. I know you can't say one or the other, but the game at State Fair there against Texas in the Cotton Bowl, you're going to be undefeated. Texas, I think. Now, they got Kansas this week. It's interesting, but I think they're going to be undefeated. You win that game, you're in the conversation. Like, you're firmly in the conversation, and we're not talking about them. Like, I'm lucky enough to host a national show. Don't talk a lot about Oklahoma. We don't have Oklahoma call-ins. We don't have Oklahoma tweets. Just not a part of the conversation. But you look up, and they're right there. They're undefeated. They're 14th in the country. They've been dominant in their wins against a pretty good SMU team. Certainly good SMU offense. They held them to 11 points. They beat Arkansas State 73-0 and made Butch Jones cry on the sideline. All right? That is factual. That is something that happened. They beat Tulsa 66-17. Last week, though, maybe the most impressive. They go on the road to Cincinnati, and they beat them 20-6. They have only given up 11, 17, and 6 so far this year. It was a bugaboo for them a year ago. Now they've got that side of the football figured out. They play a bad offensive team in Iowa State this week before they had that showdown with Texas. If they go into that game undefeated, that's going to have all the attention of the college football world. Remember, Oklahoma is like a pillar of the college football playoff era. Now, they haven't won a playoff game, but they've been there a lot. They've been there as much as anybody else, right? They're in that group of teams that every single year we're like, all right, well, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, 3 of the 4 are going to be there. They're part of that. Can they get back there in the last year of the 4-team playoff? I don't know that they have that kind of juice, but they're way better than I thought they would be, and they're trending in the right direction. And if they beat Texas, they're not only a part of the conversation, they're in the middle of the conversation. All right, Mario, what have you gotten wrong so far in this college football season?
Yeah, speaking of, y'all know that I talked a lot of smack about Texas over the offseason, and they've objectively looked like one of the best teams in the country so far. Like, we all remember the Alabama game, but this past weekend against Baylor, like, I know Baylor's no good, but they haven't been very good and very consistent with beating up on inferior opponents, and they did that last Saturday. And, yeah, Ewers and their offense gets a lot of the credit, deservedly so, but their defense has looked up really good this year, really different from the last couple of seasons. So, like you said, still a lot of season left. That Oklahoma game is definitely going to be interesting, but the answer for me would definitely be Texas. I'm right there with T-Bob, unfortunately. They've kind of made me eat some crow.
All right, Taylor, what have you gotten wrong so far in this college football season?
I'm going to go Jalen Milroe at Alabama. I mean, we didn't talk about it a ton on air, but I mean, y'all were sitting here and y'all saw my reaction when they announced it. I laughed. I thought that it was a terrible decision. I was like, Alabama picked the worst of the 3 in the quarterback room. I was excited. I was like, they're not going to win anything with Jalen Milroe. I was wrong about that because he's by far their best option. I mean, the offense looked completely lost without him. I took a little bit too much stock into that Texas A&M game that he played last year. He had 4 turnovers in that game, which is why it was even as close as it was in the first place. But, look, he was thrown in there as a spot start. He probably played a little bit before he was ready. I thought he's actually looked pretty good this year in terms of, like, protecting the football. And I've liked what I've seen from Jalen Milroe, and I was very critical of him coming into the year.
You know, outside of the one throw, which you can't do, that coverage tells you from the get-go you can't throw that corner route in the end zone against Ole Miss. I mean, he had a really nice game, took care of the football. And he's not the best option in the country, but he is the best option for that team right now. Certainly with some of their offensive line issues that they had, okay, well, I want a guy that's not statue back there. And so he does give them the best option. But don't tell Alabama fans that because they think that there's other options when, in fact, right now there's just not. There's not other options. Jalen Milroe does give you the best opportunity to win. All right, we will take a break now, continue some of this college football conversation when we hop back. It is Off the Bench.
OTB, OT.
CentralPlumbing.org, CentralPlumbing.org. That is the website to check out the things we tell you about every single day. Like, yes, it is emergencies. We'll give you the phone number there, but if you're looking to upgrade, that's at your home or business, they can certainly come in and they can do that. Now, whatever you got in your home, certainly they can handle that. I mean, you'll see right there on the homepage, they have like 15 vans lined up ready to go. But if you own a business, right, you own maybe, let's say, something downtown, and the entire floor of the downtown building is yours, and you've got 6 restrooms on that floor. Well, they can come in and they can upgrade that. It's not going to be too big for them. Again, you'll see from the full fleet ready to go on the homepage that they can handle any job. But if it's at your home, they'll come in to exactly, hey, vanity here, new tile here, whatever it might be. They can handle any of those jobs. But also 24/7, 365 means 24/7, 365. 225-925-8552 for emergency services. Go to centralplumbing.org as well, centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail.
Kate Voisier inviting you to join me along with the coaches Todd Black and Jimmy Roy for the next edition of Louisiana Prep Weekly. We'll welcome in our special guest, Parkview Baptist head football coach Stephon LaFours. Louisiana Prep Weekly, Wednesday night at 6, live from Walk-Ons in Town Center on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
All right, so we just did right, wrong, and indifferent. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? What still is in the gray area so far in this college football season? So I enjoyed that segment, but something we also talked about a little bit earlier in the show was undefeated teams that aren't ranked. Because, and we're just staying in the Power 5. No disrespect, Marshall. We're not going to Marshall. We're just staying in the Power 5 here. So here's what we're going to do in this segment. We're going to give you the undefeated team from a Power 5 conference. That was really quick, T-Bob. And we're going to give you, okay, pretender, contender, will they have a say at the end of the day? Because when you look at the ACC, there's actually 2 teams that are undefeated right now that don't have a little number next to their name. You've got the Louisville Cardinals and you've got the Syracuse Orange. I mean, do we believe either one of those teams right now can be, and we're talking ACC championship type contender. We're not talking about the CFP, because I actually think Louisville might be. Now, I don't know about Syracuse T. I don't know if they can get into that conversation. But right now, when I look at Louisville, when I look at Plummer, the way he's playing quarterback, he was at Purdue with this coaching staff. You look at their schedule. They won 8 games last year, and nobody really talked about it. They might actually be a contender.
Louisville, I'm guilty of being a bit ignorant on. I have to jump into Louisville. I do feel comfortable in saying that I've seen enough out of Syracuse and Dino Babers that, like...
We've seen this story before.
Yes,
it played out last year, didn't it?
Yeah, I think they started
I'm pretty sure they were 6-0
last
last year or something like that.
Yeah, is Garrett Trader still quarterback, right? Hell yeah. Former Mississippi State great.
Helicopter?
Yeah, the helicopter, the jean shorts. So no, like Syracuse does this every now and then where everything comes together and they have a pretty good year. I just can't fathom that they're on the same level as Riley Leonard or Tyler Van Dyke out of Miami right now, or Jordan Travis. But the numbers for what's the old boy from Louisville's name?
Jack Plummer.
The numbers for Plummer would dictate that maybe
it stands
he
right
is
there
on
with
that
him.
level. Yeah. So
when you look at what he's done, he's completed 67% of his passes. He has over 1,100 yards. 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So the touchdowns maybe not where some of the others are, but a 189 quarterback rating.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe Louisville is again, like you said, Brahman Purdue with Aiden O'Connell, another very good quarterback. Actually, won the Big Ten West last year. And you can't really judge Purdue in the bowl game if you're an LSU fan because that was not the Purdue team that was during the regular season. In fact, Brahman wasn't even there at that point.
Brian, his brother, who's now at Louisville with him, obviously was coaching, but you have to imagine his mind was elsewhere. I would say, probably to the place that he was a star quarterback at and was going back to. I can't imagine he had a lot of pride left in Purdue.
So I will. You have spurred me this week to start to look into Louisville.
Okay.
You know, it's tough when we talk about the entirety of the Power Five. You kind of have to, and everything is a time resource battle. You have to pick your spots. Okay, what am I going to watch? Who am I going to focus in on this week? And Louisville has not yet broken through. Mizzou's kind of like that for me as well. I mean, I saw the highlights of Mizzou, Kansas State, like everybody else did. And I saw the kick and everything, obviously. But, I haven't really watched the growth of, is it Cook, right?
Yeah,
Brady Cook, right? Yeah. Somebody was thinking Brandon. Like the growth of Brady Cook, who I was shocked yesterday. I'm on, my favorite site, cfbstats.com. And you look at right now in the SEC, if you look at the top-rated passers, sorry, I'm getting it brought up here again. You got Jaden Daniels 1 with a 189 rating, and then Brady Cook, number 2 in the conference right now. Brady Cook's numbers are actually kind of insane considering nobody talks about him, and I don't think there was any expectation for him entering the season, and yet he's completing 72% of his passes. He's over 1,000 yards, 10.7 yards per attempt, which actually leads the SEC. 7 touchdowns, no picks, thrown for 270 a game. Brady Cook's been fantastic.
Some would say he's been cooking.
I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Some would say that.
So he's been really good, but Luther Burden III is a sophomore receiver from Missouri, and he's a beast. He's one of the best receivers in the conference. Already has 500 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the kicker was a beast at the end, but they don't win that game against Kansas State without him.
I believe
very highly rated recruit, too.
I believe Burden's also been clocked at 23 miles per hour.
Do y'all
we call
know
that fast?
Who leads the conference in yards per game despite having 5 less catches than Malik Neighbors and Luther Burden, who are both second and third on this list? Nope, Brian Thomas is 4th in the SEC
it's yards
right now.
per what?
Yards per game. Who leads the SEC? He only has right now Malik Neighbors and Luther Burden have 32 catches apiece, and Malik has 130 yards per game. Luther's 125. That's second and third. Brian Thomas at 25 catches for 103 yards a game is 4th in the conference right now.
East or West?
It's in the East. I had never heard of this guy. He's a senior.
I've got nothing.
No clue.
Xavier Leggett.
Oh, from South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah, good player.
Right now, 27 catches, 556 yards, averaging 140 a game. And if you look at his highlight, again, the Mississippi State game the other day, he had like a 70-yard touchdown. He hit over 23 miles an hour. Yep. Old boy looked shot out of a cannon. It's one of the greatest examples I've ever seen of running away from the defense. Like it was one of those where it looks like everybody else was playing in slow motion. Actually, I'm going to find that highlights.
Well, Juice Wells goes down. He breaks his foot, so that gives you an opportunity to be the guy, the go-to guy. Spencer Rattler, we talked about it when you were gone, T.
He's been awesome.
He's playing at such a high level, even though he's got the bomb squad in front of him. And so I guess that's not that surprising if you break it down.
Yeah, look at this. This is a 22 mile an hour run. I'll send it to you, Taylor, so you can see it. But he hit the top speed in the I think it was the country maybe last week.
You know who would have caught
22 miles an hour. Choo.
That referee from the La Tech game.
Maybe.
Look, I don't know. Look at that referee. Beat him to the goal line.
That dude had about
beat him to the goal line.
Dude had about a 30
He beat him
head start
to
the
goal
line.
line. All right, so Louisville, Syracuse, couple undefeated teams in the country. Power 5 still not ranked. I think Louisville over Syracuse. And as we go down the list, like there's not a lot left. Now you have Maryland out of the Big Ten. Then you have Kentucky out of the SEC. If we're just staying right now in the Power 5, Kansas just got a ranking next to their name. They would have fallen into this category last week, but
and it sucks because I think Kansas is a top 25 team in the country, and they're gonna if they lose to Texas, they're gonna be knocked
right back out. Yeah,
and it's dumb because then they're gonna be back in by the end of the year. I feel
like if Maryland was in the Big Ten West, okay, yeah, sure, like we could talk about it. But you're in the East. You have a great offense. You've recruited at a very high level to what the standard of recruiting is at Maryland. You have an SEC quarterback. You have SEC receiver. I mean, Jarrett was committed to LSU for a very, very long time. I mean,
Yep.
you've been recruiting at a high level, getting transfers as well. You can score points, but I just don't think that they can hold up. So I think Pretender, and not because of the team, but because of where you sit and what division you're in.
I'll be very interested to see what Talia Tagovailoa is as an NFL prospect. He's a senior now. He leads the Big Ten in pass yards per game, but it's just because obviously Maryland wants to throw it more than anybody else does. Not the craziest numbers, but pretty solid overall, I'd say. I wonder who quarterback. I mean, the SEC is actually nothing to write home about either. But quarterbacks just in the SEC and the Big Ten right now, not the best that I've ever seen. Pac-12, on the other hand, is just silly. Have you done that yet? Have you looked at the Pac-12
yes.
quarterback rating? What am I trying to say? QB rating ranking.
Yes.
Jeez, that's hard to say.
That's a lot of. So no, we're selling on Maryland and
yeah.
Okay. All
right, I can't get there with Maryland.
Like I was just saying, in years past, they would love to have Raheem Jarrett on this team, but they don't. They're looking for like maybe one more playmaker on the outside. But yeah, fool's gold a little bit there. Kentucky, fool's gold. 4-0.
I think again they've strength schedule was what, like 130. I think
Yeah,
so. Literally almost
Hey,
played the easiest
they're
schedule in the entire
They're in a
country.
battle with Eastern Kentucky, but that's kind of who Kentucky's always been. They play up, they play down, depending on their opponent.
Well, they got a good one this weekend. They have Florida, right?
Yeah, and that's at Kroger Field, if I'm not mistaken. So,
And if they won the
good
last
atmosphere.
two in that now, is that?
And they won the 3 of the last 4.
I'm about to look.
Go to your second favorite website.
Winsipedia.
Yeah.
Florida, Kentucky, Winsipedia. I just like when people make dense information easy to find and read and understand. Okay, let's see. It looks like, they have won 3 of the last 4, including 2 in a row.
Yeah.
It looks like, last year they won 22-16 in Gainesville. Year before that, 20-13 in Lexington. It's going to be back in Lexington this weekend. Right now, though, if you look at the Pac-12 quarterback rating rankings, you have Caleb Williams with a 223 rating. He's been perfect. And it's not even like crazy volume. I mean, he's over 300 yards a game, but he's only throwing 25 passes a game. Like, it's actually unreal how efficient Caleb Williams is being while still averaging 12 yards per attempt, 15 touchdowns, no picks. Then you have Michael Penix Jr. at 209, only he's averaging 400 yards a game and has 16 touchdowns. He's also completing 74%. Cam Ward is at 187. He's throwing for 350 a game, Jake. 13 touchdowns, 0 picks, 74% completion. Oh, and then we get to Bo Nix. 300 a game, 11 touchdowns, 1 pick, 79% completion. And now we arrive at Shadur Sanders, who's putting up like unbelievable numbers. 350 yards a game, 11 touchdowns, 1 pick, 77% completion. Jeez. I mean, Uyunglele, who's been all right this year, would be good at a lot of places, is the 8th rated quarterback in the Pac-12 right now. He's behind Dante Moore and Jaden DeLaura.
And I'd love to get his rating and see where he would be, say, like in the Big Ten. He's 8th out there out west. So, real quick, we do have some breaking news out of the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M quarterback Connor Wegman will miss the remainder of the 2023 season with a foot injury, according to our guy, Billy Lucci.
Just yesterday, we had the discussion on Rivals Down South, if there was a quarterback controversy in College Station. What?
What's Rivals Down South?
That's McCarron show. God, I don't do these names, dude. I'm just here to.
It was funny how you said it.
Do good content. Welcome
no,
back
I didn't. That's the first time you told us.
Rivals
So
Down South.
I didn't know that was the official name.
Coming up at 1:38. Even today, it's Hudson Mason that I'm going to do with another Georgia quarterback who, in a small
Dude, you
world.
are a SEC quarterback.
I'm a hooer.
Town bicycle.
Well, look, man, I played center.
I mean, you got Flynn, Murray, Mason, McCarron.
Yeah. I've had SEC quarterbacks touching my balls for a long time.
You just
when I was
gravitate
younger.
to them. You just gravitate to them,
And this is no different. Only now they're kind of verbally.
Hudson Mason, underrated Georgia quarterback. We were talking about this the other day.
So what's weird, though, it's such a small world thing because AJ just signed with the Bengals. So he's kind of, his schedule is going to be complicated as we figure this thing out. But Hudson is not only Aaron's backup in college, then took over for him the year after he had a good year. Hudson is my little brother's, one of his very good friends, AAU basketball teammate growing up. Like, went on vacations together and stuff. So it is weird how
we looked it up the
works.
other day, like, when Murray left and Hudson Mason took over, like, Georgia fans were mad. They were like, we don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Dude completed 68% of his passes and only turned the ball over 4 times.
There you go. Shout out. I forgot what we were talking about. What was I mentioning about rivals?
A&M injury.
Okay, yeah. So there is no quarterback controversy because now Max Johnson is clear the game. Max Johnson has a 40-7 touchdown to interception ratio after that 4 touchdown performance the other day.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, he has some good times as the LSU starting
what's
quarterback.
weird is, like, Jimbo probably screwed him up, like, because Jimbo, we can clearly see now, is so bad at training quarterbacks nowadays. Petrino, regardless if you think Petrino's great or not, I do see a world out there where Petrino is good for him just because he's better than whatever Jimbo is right now. And so maybe Max does start to look really good again. We'll see.
You think it's a better team with Max Johnson or worse team with Max Johnson?
I actually think they're better with Max Johnson.
Do you?
I think Max should have started last year.
Wayman was playing pretty well.
He was.
It's just that last game he looked so bad, and then Max looked so perfect when he came in. That's all I'm judging it off of.
I've always been a Max Johnson believer. I know a lot of people here were critical of him. I mean, I thought he had a really good season, and I thought he probably should have got his job back last year after he's healthy. But Wegman was playing so good, it was kind of hard to make that move.
I think it's a step down, but he's serviceable. They're not totally screwed. It's a guy with a lot of experience and has, done more good than bad.
See, but the interesting part about the step down portion of that is Connor Wigman's never done anything that Max has done on the college level.
No, it was more of an ascension and based on how he was playing before he went down. But I feel you.
And if we just look at last game, like, Wigman could not move the ball against that Auburn defense, and then Max came in and then moved it up and down the field at will. So I don't know, man. I think, and you think back during camp, there was an actual quarterback competition there. So, look, this is the value of having a great backup, right?
How many
Same
starts
thing with
does Max
LSU.
have in the SEC?
In the SEC alone, I don't know. I think his record as a starter coming in last week was 8-6, though.
I would have thought it was way more than that. I feel like.
Did he play for a while before starting?
Between 1 and 2.
Him and Finley, yeah, in and out.
So he played the
switching
last 2 games of the 2020
And then
season.
Arkansas game, Nussmeier came in for basically the full game. Max started
Max
the game.
literally played the first drive,
and then that was it.
and then was
and
done.
Nussmeier came in.
All right. When we get back here on OTB, more college football talk. Keep it locked. 104.5
OTB, OT.
Where are you at? What do you got?
All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Yeah.
All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Buying new, leasing, renting, whatever you desire. You can get it done over there at All-Star. And we told you about the new vehicles there in the first segment. What about the rentals? Per-day rental prices. Full fleet is available as well, like bigger, smaller, better on gas mileage, whatever you need. They've got you covered over there at All-Star. So check those prices out. You can find that on the homepage right at the top of the website. Rent a Toyota today at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
Yeah, they're right off of Airline Highway, very easy to get to. And you can go in and sort of kind of peruse their selection in person if you want. What do you got on the lot? What can you order me? Oh, man, I really like the feel of this Sequoia, but I wish it was a different color, or the Sienna, whatever the case may be. Well, that's okay. You go in, you get a feel, you custom order it, and then you get what you need. And actually, if you already know what you want, you can go to the website, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, and through All-Star Express, you can actually order right there from the site. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of Front to Back Boat Service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
Tune in this Sunday as we bring you a trio of NFL games. Starting with our noon kickoff, the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Then immediately following, we'll bring you the Raiders and Chargers before our nightcap, the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets, here on 104.5 ESPN.
.5 ESPN and Citizens Bank and Trust are looking for the ultimate tailgate. Snap a pic of your setup and upload it to 1045ESPN.com for a chance to win $500 in Rouse's gift cards. Our judges will select a winner on September 29th. It's the ultimate tailgate giveaway from Rouse's Markets, Citizens Bank and Trust, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Been a fun show today. Thanks for letting me take a break. Go to a little donuts with Dad, with my middle child. You know, the middle children always get the kind of short end of the stick, right? Because it feels like, you know, they're always being drugged to something for the older kid, or the baby's whining and taking some sort of precedence. It's always nice to get some one-on-one time with the middle.
That's why you just have so many like me. Like, you got a lot of middle children.
Yeah, that's true. I was one of 2 middle children, but I was just like so naturally charming and dominant that I was still the most beloved of all my siblings.
Yeah, same.
Sometimes you just break through.
Yep. Are you the most beloved? Like, if we had Bobby and Teresa, like, if we asked them, like, yeah,
I think that
break down these walls.
I think that I probably cause the least amount of waves and stress for my family, which probably
you're also like a very good peacemaker.
Yes, and I'm very much
the in-between.
I talk about it all the time, man. I don't know if they do this anymore, but when I was younger, I got stuck in a program called peer mediation. and they trained us in, this was like late elementary. They trained us in conflict resolution and like listening to both sides and how to conduct like an argument between two people or whatever. So, but the crazy part is they didn't just train it to us. They would bring in first graders, second graders, kids who got into fights or had problems, and we would have to sit there and help them work it out.
What?
Yeah, so I had like actual like on the ground training from the time I was in elementary school about like conflict resolution with like real life cases.
That's crazy.
Very interesting. And I feel like it really like shaped me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I've only realized I've gotten older.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're pretty good at it now.
But yes, I'm the best sibling, easily.
Yeah,
I'm not the most successful, but I am the best.
I mean, pretty successful. I don't know, who Bobby or Teresa is, but at least Step Danny, I know you're his favorite.
Yeah, I'm definitely Step Danny's favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, what would Step Danny be without me, dude? No, I'm just kidding. Wait, so I saw a tweet from Shay Floyd, who I'm guessing is Ty Floyd's mother. And she tweeted, "This is so great." It said a local corn maze called Carlton Farms. They did a tribute to Ty this year. And she said, like, I'll post operating hours soon. But check out this picture, Carlton Farms. I don't know where Ty's originally from. I looked it up and I forgot. But they straight up made the corn maze.
Is he from Georgia?
I think he is. I think that's what it was. But they made the corn maze a giant Ty Floyd crop circle picture. It's got LSU. It's got AHS, which I'm imagining, or something HS. This is high school. It says Ty Floyd. It's got him leg kicked up, ready to deliver the ball home. It's got a giant Cincinnati Reds logo. How did they do this?
I don't know. Ask Nebraska fans.
Yeah, I mean, what an excellent use of corn here. But I'm saying, like, how do you maintain?
He's from Rockmart, Georgia. Where's Rockmart?
Okay, so it's RHS. That must be Rockmart High School.
Where's that?
I've never heard of Rockmart.
Sounds
No
like a
idea.
store for
Wait,
rocks.
you're from Georgia. How do you not know that?
I mean, well, you know,
You
me
forget
and
it?
geography. Me and geography. And
that's
plus,
fair.
it's from the burbs.
All right.
There's a
Rockmart.
lot of South Georgia and North Georgia that your boy doesn't know about, dude. It's probably about like Rome or Macon or something. Rockmart is probably.
I do feel like people from like the area that you're from, like that Atlanta area, they know just Atlanta.
Well, it's a lot of transplants too, honestly. Like I grew up like on an NFL Sunday, you'd see like a bunch of Patriots flags, a bunch of Steelers flags.
All right, there you go, Coach.
A bunch of that. Okay, so this is one of those
Northwest.
random Northwest towns that I just have no idea about.
I mean, it's not that far from Atlanta.
Shout out Rockmart.
I mean, it's like north. It's like west of Marietta.
Bro, I never go to North Georgia unless it was to go party in Athens or. No, that was kind of it. That was pretty much it. So I don't know how you do a corn picture, like because people are doing these before drones. I don't know how you maintain your perspective, but the art is great.
Well, I would have
Shout out
said
Ty Floyd.
drone, but then it said northwest of Georgia, so I imagine guy just had his buddy Jimmy flying a crop duster around the thing, like, hey, go a little to the left or something like that. I mean, it's probably as simple as that.
That's fair. Hell of a corn maze, though. All right, when we get back, let's wrap up with a little Ask the Bench.
OTB, OT.
Noel Distillery, Donaldsonville's finest. Check it out, y'all. Exactly. There's something there. We're going to do that during Christmas. Don't worry. We're going to make a Noel Distillery song. But look, the bottom line is, you don't even realize this, but Noel's vodka, tequila, rum, it's already in all your favorite bars. It's in your favorite grocery store. So next time you're going to order vodka, put it to the test, okay? Don't order any crap from Texas or Georgia or Russia, okay?
Oh, wow.
What about the boot? Keep it in Louisiana. And I wouldn't be advocating so hard if I didn't believe in the product, but I do, y'all. I've tasted the entire line, especially the tequila, a lot of tequila, and I legitimately think it's great. You will too. Try it out. Put it to the test. Next time you go to the bar, you go to the grocery store, you ask for Noel.
Yeah, you can ask for it. You can also book your visit. Go check it out. Tours and tastings available at noeldistillery.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The interior of an infinity is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infinity Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. It's a What If Wednesday. JD Piquel of On3 Sports will join us. And those SEC football power rankings. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Vizzy Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. What should I get for takeout tonight while my wife is at the Beyonce concert? Chinese, sushi, pizza, or wings?
Chinese.
It's always Chinese.
Always.
If family's out, it's always Chinese.
Yep.
And
single plate, you can still get a ton of food, and you can go ham, bless you again, and not be judged.
See, I've actually lately, because I love it so much and I want to eat it like once a week, I find, I've been being much more responsible and getting like a true dinner combination. So it's like, I'm getting one little thing and it's like half rice, half chicken. But if my family's out of town, I'm getting that large order of sesame where it's an entire styrofoam of sesame, and then I want an entire box of fried rice, and I'm probably throwing some egg rolls in there as well. Ask the Bench, where's the place to go for tailgating for LSU versus Ole Miss? I don't know, but I saw a picture of a tailgate with a chandelier, and it has massive padlock on the ice chest energy. Just like, it's not my style.
Last time I was in Oxford, you had a group of LSU fans that they were trying to find somewhere to tailgate, and there was like all these fancy tailgates, and they literally said the hell with it right in the middle of the tailgating area there at Ole Miss. What do they call it?
The Grove.
The Grove. They dropped their stuff and just set up shop right there, and they just sat on their ice chest and started drinking, and all the Ole Miss fans were like so mad that they were just sitting there and they didn't have this whole setup. And
yeah, you're probably gonna get like a ticket or something for loitering. We were talking hibachi the other night. Vegas is their new Vegas restaurant actually opened up a brand new hibachi show. Check out the chef. If you can't see, that's the very odd video of Britney Spears dancing with knives that is going viral. Right now, I love the internet. And somebody put her in a hibachi kitchen. Hey, I do want to remind you to DraftKings.com. It's Wednesday, so it's not NFL day today, but there's still great deals going down. DraftKings Sportsbook. Remember, 2 great offers every NFL game day, though, this September. But if you download the app for the first time and use the promo code Baton Rouge, all one word, you bet $5 on an NFL game. What do you get? You get $200 in bonus bets instantly, y'all, instantly. So take advantage. We'll have a pontoon parlay for you coming up this weekend. That is the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The crown is yours. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms of sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER 1-426-2537. Ask the bench. Ashley Megan says, I hate the tailgate chandeliers. I don't understand him. I kind of like him. I don't love the energy that it gives off. I do like the quirky, like over the topness of it. Like it's no different than like cowbells or how I view any great kind of weird college tradition.
It's never going to be confused for an LSU tailgate.
No.
They're completely different vibes and different things.
Taylor Roy says, anyone know the best bar at Ole Miss? Don't people love the library?
Yes. Christopher Paul Doring loves the library.
Big surprise. He was probably there when it was founded, honestly.
Yeah, and he'll probably be there again soon.
We love you all. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. More OTB Thursday. Kick off another week of football.
OTB, OT.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me. Refuel me. Rejuva me. Mood and memory problems, insomnia, facial aging, andropause, menopause, gaining weight, just not feeling the confidence that you used to have. Rejuve can handle this and help you fix all of this. Okay, let's do some upkeep as we get older. Why not? We do it on everything else. I don't care if you're male, female. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, or 50. It happens just at different rates. We're all unique. That's why you need to set up a free consultation today. Get your labs drawn. Remember, they've actually caught major health issues early on during those drawn in the labs and saved people a couple times. But get your labs drawn, figure out where your body's efficient, what it needs, and let Rejuve customize a plan for you to get you where you want to be.
RejuveMeMedical.com. That's the place you can get that consultation set up. T-Bob gave you a list of conditions they can treat. I mean, it is a long list. So even if you don't know what you've even if you don't know what you've got going on, they can get to the bottom of it. RejuveMeMedical.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile.